You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell him that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostag. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever.
Pelicans, you're now tuned in to the Pelican Post Game Report. I'm Big Q chiming in on this episode of PPR, man, Draft Special. We up in this thing. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the live and spending your time here with PPR, man. Do me a service by hitting that like button. Hit the sub button if you're not a sub and hype the stream, man. Pels, on the not on the clock tonight right now officially, but too many rumors, man. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to account for. But man, we here for all the smoke tonight. We'll be covering it live. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate you for being in the stream. HHN, is that it? Shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you for being first in this thing. Pelicans Nola, much love as always. Young City 9, J Carv, what's popping, baby? Shout out to you, my brother. Young City Stephanie, shout out to Steph as well. 992 Ras, big ups to you, man. Much love. Say, man, all these trade talks now. The rumors is Trey asked for a trade. I'm thinking Trey team was putting out all of these rumors. So shout out to you, bro. We're gonna talk about that tonight. Brother Donald, shout out to you, man. Good to see you in the stream as well. Much love to all y'all, man. Much love. What's up, Tedra? Shout out to you, RJ, the alternative. Much love, fam. Appreciate all you guys and ladies for being in the building tonight. The draft is about to get started at 7 p.m. Central Time. My time is Central. It's going to be here. Yeah, that's right. Shout out to Kasun. Hope I'm saying that right, my man. Probably not, but much love to you. Appreciate you. Summertime is officially here. Jaden, what's popping, fam? Appreciate y'all. PPR is live, man. We up in this thing, man. Listen, let's talk some Pels draft talk right now. As of right now, nothing to report on in terms of any solid trade situation that occurred. Now, we do ad nauseum heard about all of the stuff that was involving Jalen Brown. Giannis got traded finally from the Bucks down to Miami. They got a haul. They got draft picks. They got, I think one of them are pick swaps. They got several players that are really talented young players on cheap contracts, and basically really took a lot of the Miami Heat star talent that they've been building up over time, and they got a haul for Giannis. So Milwaukee, understanding it's a process, they did pick up a new coach there. The former Memphis Grizzly coach is taking over there. So he has some talent to work with and is not under pressure in his first year to construct a contending team. They're going to give him some time to land. But in terms of Miami, they got to hit the ground going, right? So they have to pick up some talent. The Ja Morant situation, all that was talked about. and diffused. So we're gonna get into it, man. So y'all hit that like button as well. What's up, Mr. A is in the building. Heard they talking to that number 5 pick. Thank you, brother. TP 22 DG says Milwaukee won. Yes, indeed, Milwaukee won that trade. Because even though Giannis, it's really cool to see Giannis and Bam, play together, but they don't have much of anything else, fam. I mean, you got Wiggins there, but man, they don't have much of anything else. So it really robbed the team of assets. That was you would think Danny Ainge was orchestrating that trade. Did Danny Ainge lead the Utah Jazz and take the VP GM job for the Milwaukee Bucks? Because that's what happened. They fleeced I ain't gonna say they fleeced them because they got Giannis, but boy, they paid a heavy toll to get his ass up down there to Miami. So we'll see what Pat Riley wants to do. We're gonna try to put the team together around. It's gonna be interesting, but that's in the East right now. So big ups. All right, Nola Hitman, what's up, fam? Appreciate you. He said that they said that Trey said he wanted out, and I think the trade is going to be number 3, where Celtics receive Trey Murphy, Dyson, Corey Kesper will receive an 8 pick. Richard Shaw and the Hawks receive Jaylen Brown. We'll see what's going on with that, my brother. Thank you for that information as well. Yeah. So yeah, we'll cover that, bro. It's a lot of rumorville, bro, that came out with that, and it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of fire going on. It's where smoke is fire. But in terms of the Pelicans, man, one thing I can say for certain, fam, when the Pelicans clean out and got all these new people to the team, you notice there is no leaking, real serious leaking going on. Whoever the hell they got out of there, man, they got the leakers out, man. So yeah, they are operating very tight-lipped going on right now. So let's just hit some of this right away, fam, and start talking about this. Y'all hit that like button as we get going. Now, the Pelicans trade and draft. Here we go. We're going to kind of hit this up as before we get into the draft, actual draft. Pelicans actively trying to trade into the lottery. We talked about this on previous streams. They surrendered the last year's first round pick, which became the number 8 pick, to Atlanta for Derek Queen to move up to get him. The front office, led by Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, are pushing for a blockbuster draft night deal. They want to get back into the top 10. Troy Weaver, according to reports, fancies Nate Ament, the 6'10 plus power forward from Tennessee. Now, where they actually make that move, that has not happened yet and is yet to be determined. So we'll see. But Trey Murphy and Herb Jones, markets are heating up heavily for these guys. 6 to 12 teams have been, according to reports, aggressive offers for both those guys. The front runner, according to reporters, are saying that the Golden State Warriors have discussed trading their number 11th pick for Murphy. The Hawks were also in the mix, talking about that number 8 pick to give it back to them, what they wanted for it, and other suitors, the Pistons, Pacers. Celtics, listening on Jaylen Brown, have interest but lack the necessary picks to pull off such a desired trade for the Pelicans. And of course, the Pelicans' asking price. The Pels are holding out for a hefty Desmond Bain type package, demanding a lottery pick or multiple first round picks. 6 to 12 teams have checked in on Trey and Herb, according to Bleacher Report and ESPN. Now, the Ja Morant speculation, according to reports, are dead. Fletcher Mackle, I think it's Fletcher Mackle mentioned it. They had other reporters that talked about it too around the same time. Confirmed that the Pelicans have no interest in Ja Morant. They're fully committed to Fears, not so much DeJounte Murray. Right now, Murray and Fears, but we know Fears is the future of the backcourt for the Pelicans eventually. Now, the draft target, according to reports and rumors, is Nate Ament. If the Pelicans can trade into the lottery, that seems to be the player they're going after him because, according to reports, polarizing high upside prospect projected to go anywhere between 6 to 12. Raw physical toolkit, great potential, kind of a slender frame, 39% field goal per shooter in college, but a lot of potential there. In terms of the asset boost, the 2027 Milwaukee pick, the Pelicans own the most favorable in terms of the 27 selections between themselves, Atlanta and Milwaukee, with the Bucks headed for a rebuild. That 2027 swap could be stellar. that's a good news as well to kind of convey to the Pale Nation is the fact when Giannis got sent south to Miami, guess who really reaped the rewards of that outside of all those Miami Heat young players who are going to go up there and kind of build and be competitive? The Pelicans really that is going to be stellar because Milwaukee's going to be seen as a bottom team in the NBA coming up next year. They're going to be kind of building that thing up. So that benefits that 27 selection benefits us major league. So the Pelicans tonight, Pelicans do not own the first round pick as of right now. Current pick is number 58 in the second round. The center vacuum missed out on Nick Claxton. He was traded to Chicago in a multi-deal. A lot of moves was made, just none involving the Pels. Still desperate for a starting caliber center to pair with Zion, according to some reports. In that number 58, they possibly could try, kind of select a big we shall see in the draft, as the draft is Stern is on Stern. You all know, not Stern, Silva. I call him Silverman. Silva, that guy looks like if anybody was an alien, if we was, I think our NBA commissioner is an alien, man. The guy's really weird looking, very weird, very weird. It just looked like he should be. You take a black suit and put him on him with one of those black hats and put him in one of those weird movies. Like if you start speaking too much truth about aliens, that he'll come like a man in black and come and get you. And then he's mad. He's like 6'5" or something like that. Very weird looking guy, man. Very weird. I don't know. That was sidebar. But anyway, that dude looked real weird, dude. I'm just telling you, if anybody was an alien, it would definitely be Silver. I ain't just be honest with you. All right, back to this stuff. Now, Trey Murphy, according to reports, Trey Murphy III saying he wants out, and some reports saying he signaled behind the scenes he wants to be traded from the Pelicans. Now, the source is Sam Amick, who's an insider. He said that's what it is. We'll see what it is. New Orleans is receiving significant trade interest on Murphy, which could lead to a blockbuster deal as soon as tonight. So we'll see how that all situates. Just giving you guys the fact on that. Yeah, he a whole comic book villain. Yeah. Now that's a good one, RJ. Nosferatu. Yeah, that you say he looked like the living dead, bro. He looked weird, dog. And a man like 6'5" or something like that. He's very tall and very weird looking, man. But I gotta tell you, he's very smart too. Very smart man. All right, outside. Then this is some more information that I think I already shared with you guys. Just giving you extra information on Trey Murphy Jones market information about the teams that's listed as front runners and what they are offering for our guys. And listen, there's a lot of other guys outside of Trey and Herb that could possibly be guys the Pelicans could be going after. As the Washington Wizards are on the clock, man. Washington Wizards on the clock. I think they probably will end up going with Peterson. Peterson doesn't want to go to Washington to Utah, but remember that happened last year with the other young man that they picked up. Remember he didn't want to go, but ultimately he ended up going. But anyway, here's some numbers to go by tonight, where we officially start the new regime under Jamal Mosley, Troy Weaver, and Joe Dumars. Joe has his coach, signed him to a 5-year agreement. Now this is the first night right now where we see what kind of moves the Pelicans will make in shaping a team and what Jamal Mosley think they will need to be to win some contests and be competitive in the NBA. These are last year numbers to kind of look at. The offensive rating, 112.1, 23rd. The defensive rating, as you can see right there, the net rating there, minus 6.7, which is 26. The pace was top 12 with almost 100. And you see the defensive rebounds, 28th. And this is one of the things that a guy like Mosley was focusing on. The defensive rebounds way low, back of the NBA. And the struggles were real. Poor defense, inconsistent offense, missed opportunities. But the future in New Orleans is still loading. Statistical leaders, you can see Trey, top man in scoring. His rebound leader, Herb, and you can see the rest of those statistics right there. So we know what we're in for in terms of kind of changing this whole dynamic and moving this thing in the correct way that it's supposed to go. So nonetheless, man, it's going to be interesting tonight, isn't it, family? All right, and here's a few more other graphs to kind of hit you with, fam, tonight, so we can understand what we need as an organization. The Pelicans team draft needs, outside of picking the 58th overall pick, if they don't move or groove going into this is the draft, and I think next week kicks into the start of free agency. So summer, yeah, It'll be summer league before long. So I mean, it's interesting. But under a new coach Jamal Mosley, the priority is positional defensive rebounding, ranked 28th in the league at cleaning up the glass, has severely held back their transition play, rim protection, and center depth. Queen and Messi are foundational bigs, but the team severely lacks interior muscle and true veteran shot blocking around the rim. Immediate serviceable. We talked about bench players to kind of help out that veteran edge off the bench to kind of settle the bench. We've not had that, but picking that number 58 means Nola will likely target a high floor college senior like Felix Akpara or Onyenso, who can soak up backup minutes, see if we can get some length, because I know that's one of the main things. If you know anything about Jamal Mosley style of teams, this is a man that loves athletic players, long athletic players, switchable players. And this is what he ran at us for all those years. And we could never beat those guys because they were a problem. They basically play, they just ran the Pelicans out of the gym. Some of those games were competitive, but in the end, the Pelicans just couldn't get wins against them. And of course, one of the biggest needs is shooting. The Pelicans need more reliable shooting, especially from deep, to spread the floor and unlock driving lanes for Zion and Murray, if Murray is still here, so we'll see how that goes as well. Also, to make mention of the scout focus is some of these players. Now, these players right here, I'm listing right here, fam, as the Washington pick is in, and Peterson and AJ DeBonsa is eagerly waiting for it, and Darren Peterson refused to meet with anybody except for Washington. But most teams don't care about that. If they want you, they'll select you. So, but anyway, in terms of the Pelicans 2026 scouting focus, here's a few players that the Pelicans actually had interest in. Rumored priority trade. And we'll see what happens here, fam, because within the first 10 picks of the draft, we'll see if 10 to 15 picks, we'll see where the Pelicans are at in terms of if a move is going to be made. It'll be made between now and then. But Nate Ament from Tennessee, 6'10", 17 points a game, almost over 6 rebounds. This guy is one of those long, lanky players that Troy Weaver loves to have. And then some of the other verified pre-draft roster workouts the Pelicans could be looking at. Malik Brown, who's 6'9", 230 from Duke. He's another guy, 10 points, 7 boards a game. Chris Sanak Jr., we talked about him. He's from New Orleans. Center from Houston, 6'10", 6'11-ish, 240. You can see his points there as well. Malik Dia, who's Ole Miss center, 6'9", 240. Brutish center. Xavier Lee, the guard from Florida. He's another interesting player. J.J. Starling from Syracuse, the 6'4 guard. And Bryce Harris, the guard from Howard, 6'4 guard. Also, there was a really good and interesting guard maybe going in the second half is DJ Armstrong Jr. That's another dude that can actually ball, man. You remember his father, DJ Armstrong, played in the league, and the interesting. But here's Silva mentioning the selection for, and Washington take DeBonsa. Washington took AJ DeBonsa with the first pick in the draft. So there you go. Peterson, and guess what Peterson's going? He's going to be ended up going to who. So AJ DeBonsa is the pick. He'll be joining the Washington, not the Whataburgers, but the Wizards, man. And they're building something. They just gave Trey Young all that money, gave him a 4-year deal. They got a bunch of young talent that's very talented, but I don't know if they got the coach to pull it off. I know Adam Keefe. I don't know. They were at rumors. They were thinking about firing him, but ultimately they have a ton of talent, like young people that need to learn how to win. So they're thinking that Trey Young, AD, I think he issued trade here rumors. He kind of shot to AJ DeBonsa was shaking his head when he walking up there. He wanted to go to Utah. He's from BYU. He wanted to end up with Utah. I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad at you, bro. But yeah, you got to, wherever they draft you got to play. So he put on a Wizard cap, and he a Wizard. So he'll be joining Washington with Trey, and they got a bunch. Trey Young, Trey Johnson. They got some talented players over there. Well, Alex Sarr is another one. So they got some players, man. They got to find somebody to teach them how to win and finish these games. But they got a lot of talent. They got to put it together. But nonetheless, yeah, you know who Utah. I think Utah is up next. So we'll see what they do, followed by the Memphis Grizzlies. But yeah, fam, what do y'all think? Kind of chime in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about some of these moves and some of this stuff that the Pelicans got going on, because we've seen a lot of moves that some of these teams have made. We've seen a lot of moves some of these NBA teams have made. We've seen Miami make moves. We've seen Milwaukee do their thing. We've seen trades. Other teams make trades. We've seen a few re-ups and signings, but pretty much in terms of watching our team, the Pelicans, we haven't seen pretty much of anything. Guys, they've just been kind of waiting and seeing what happens, what's the word, and all this kind of stuff. So we're gonna see, man, how this all floats and how this goes now. With Dumars going up number one, I wonder if there'll be a team that Utah wants to talk to about trading up somebody going to get Peterson, because he was sitting at that table praying that he was the number one pick. But man, I don't know, man. We'll see how it all goes. All right, what's up, Slim? Shout out to Slim. Much love to y'all. Good to see you. What's up, Daniel? Much love to Daniel Blount. He says, honestly, if I can get rid of Herb and Poole, I would. And if I had to give up Messi, but I got a starting center, I would. It's very, that's what I was saying about the Pelicans team, family, is the Pelicans are an interesting mix of talent. Like, we got some really good ball players, right? We got some guys, and then some of these players, like, can really help you win. But the interesting thing about it is are the players failing? Like, they're looking, and you know the answer to this. A lot of the failing that's happening with the team is because of the coach. The coaching staff, or lack thereof. Willie Green wasn't much of a coach. No disrespect to Willie Green, but he wasn't much of a coach. And when Borrego took over the job, this is another dude that's not a head coach. He's not head coach material. He did some positive things with Charlotte. He had the Pelicans for 70-something games last year. Couldn't do nothing but win 26 games, which was 5 games more than what Willie did the previous year, which is AJ Debonsa does not seem excited at all, man, sitting there with Lisa Salters in there. Look at, he was praying. He got on, he must be, is he Jamaican? I didn't know. I thought he was something else. He got Jamaican flags on. Look like he got all kind of flags on, but yeah, he going to Washington, bro. Just be happy if you got drafted, period, man. First overall draft, man. Washington's, it's going to be a good team, man, depending on if they can get all them guys to play. So shout out to him. Peterson's next up, man, and Utah, the pick is in. So Silver should be able to come out of there and tell us who Utah is going to pick. There's a reported trade they're saying here. Let me see. There is, I don't know if that, oh, no, that was for the draft selection. So no trade, but the pick is in, and Peterson looked like he might be headed to Utah, man. That ain't a bad place for him, though, to be honest with you. I like the little point guard they got out there, so having Peterson to go out there wouldn't be bad. But in terms of the Pelicans, man, Pels have a few things. They have talent, man. We got talent. We got talented players. But the Pelicans, they don't have much money. So the only way to kind of fix the team is by trading the players that we have. Now, some of these players, and they've been rumored that some of these players you might have to put an enticement, like a future pick on some of these players to kind of pick up the incentive to move them out, to either open up space or find some type of asset that fits in what you're doing. So I'm inclined to see what this team is going to be all about right now. But the pick is in, as Utah might look like Peterson is the pick. So we'll just see momentarily what the pick is. Silver walking out. Let's see what the pick is for what it is. It's Darren Peterson. So Peterson's going to Utah. Demonta went to the top pick. He went to Washington. So Peterson is going to Utah. He didn't want to go to Utah. He didn't. Because the thing is, man, let me get the other screen up here so you can see the depth chart on some of these people. Because This happened last year for Utah. Utah is not a destination most of these players are excited about going to. They're not excited about going to Utah. But I mean, it is what it is. But it does. They do have some talent. I mean, him and Keontae George. I mean, that's not a bad look if you think about it, fam. Let me put this up here. This is what they're looking at here. That's not a bad look, man. If you're them, Keontae George and Darian Peterson. That's not a bad 1-2 punch in the backcourt, man. Ace Bailey was the guy last year that was not excited about it, but they got some talent out there. Remember, they traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. They still have Laurie Markkinen, Kyle Flipowski, Walker Kessler turned down a big money contract there, and they got some really talented bench guys too. Isaiah Collier, Cody Williams, Bryce Sensenbaum. They got some really talented players off the bench as well. So Elijah Harkless is another really talented bench guy. So they got a feisty team loaded with some talented players. So Peterson averaged 20 points last year. Can he help Utah, man? We'll see. Memphis is on the clock next. They're on the clock next. A lot of people don't know what they're going to do with their pick. A lot of people think Memphis might end up with Boozer. We'll see who they got going on. They could use help at the point guard position. But more than likely, they'll probably come up with Boozer. But what do y'all think about some of this, some of these trades? What you think? I mean, the drafting of DeBonsa and Peterson, I think that was kind of, people figured they'd go 1 and 2. They just didn't know which order. But I thought it would be in one. But DeBonsa is a good selection. Decorah says, I really don't know what to believe right now. And that's actually pretty good, man, because Pelicans aren't sending up any smoke signals. I mean, there are no leaks out of the building. We knew about the Ja Morant thing. That could be a possibility. But both teams that were interested in Ja Morant decided not to take him because of the injury history, the money that's still on, a lot of money still left on his deal. And plus, Sacramento didn't want to go to the other side. They wanted to kind of handle things through the draft. It's cheaper, which they looking at guys like A-Cup and all these other guys that they could possibly be bringing in. So, and then the Pelicans said, nah, we got Jeremiah Fears in the future. So no to that. And it is what it is. So I don't know where he goes, but that might be I don't know, that's very interesting to see. Memphis is kind of stuck with him. I don't know there's no market for, that's crazy work. There's no market for Ja Morant or Zion Williamson. Weren't these guys like 1 and 2 in the draft several years ago? There's no trade market for Ja Morant and Zion Williamson. No trade market. That's crazy work right there. That's insane. But it is what it is. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Slim says, better be glad their name's called. They don't. Yeah, I know both of them because Peterson wanted to go to Washington. He refused to take any other interviews. He did not talk to Utah. That same thing happened, like I told you last year. It happened with the other player that got out there, Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey didn't want to talk to him. He did not want to be drafted by Utah. They still drafted him. Utah is one of those destinations where guys just, hey, man, it's what it is. So in terms of that, okay, hold on. He's talking about Shams was on television dropping something. He just talking about Peterson. But yeah, the whole thing with the Jazz got to get their talent two ways. And right now, it's the same thing. The Utah Jazz acquisition of talent and the Pelicans acquisition is the same way. We're not going to attract really top-notch players to come here because of the reputation of the organization. It seemed, and this is just me being real with the fam, around the league circles, the Pelicans are seen as a joke organization. They are. They're seen as a team that's not serious about winning. As you can see, the last couple of coaching hires, the type of people we be bringing in here, and that's why when Joe Dumars came, I knew that he would clear out all of these leftovers from the David Griffin administration that wasn't really doing anything but sucking up money, stealing money from the organization. So he pushes all of them out and upgrades, gets better people in to the organization that share his temperament, that have this gritty mentality and this seriousness of winning. And a lot of the administrators that the Pelicans brought in come from organizations that are about winning, that's serious about winning, like OKC and San Antonio. So some of these administrators are coming in here with that mentality. Jamal Mosley is a guy that comes from a tree. He was tied to Rick Carlisle. He was in different places, right? But the reality of him, he's a serious coach. That's the thing about Jamal Mosley. He's serious about winning. He's probably one of the most, and this thing, he's not a guy that really won any major accolades right now, but he could really grow with this Pelican team. So we'll see what goes on there. The next pick, number 3, is going to be Cameron Boozer. You can see Carlos Boozer sitting there with his son and his other brother who's staying in college, but his other brother coming out next year is going to be a lottery selection too. But Cam Boozer is going to be a force for them. He going to the Grizzlies. And we probably going to end up having to deal with Mr. Boozer with Memphis, because Memphis is in the rebuild mode too, fam. Remember, they sent Jaren Jackson Jr. out. They got rid of him to Utah so they can bring Boozer in. And pretty much what that means is, and the camera's on his mama. Okay, all right, moms, I see you. Mama just standing there looking, just posing. All right, but yeah. But you see Memphis Grizzlies there, Cedric Coward, Jalen Wells, Cam Boozers now, Zach Edey. They're building up on some stuff. We know Memphis is not complete. Um, Scottie Pippen Jr. is still there, Ty Jerome and all these other guys. Walter Clayton, Taylor Hendricks. These are interesting pieces for the team, as they just basically replaced Jaren Jackson Jr. with Carlos Boozer. So, and the guy could play, man. Like they're showing you a highlight package of him beating up and fighting down low and shooting 3-pointers as well. He also is a good defender. He averaged 22.5 points a game on 56% shooting. He also grabbed 10 rebounds a game with 4 assists. So he got good vision to kind of move around. So he ain't just the big that just come in there and do that. He got enough NBA pedigree from his pops. And Carlos Boozer was one of them dudes that was a bruiser. Carlos Boozer was a bruiser when he played, and he had a good game, but his son got the size, man. So it's good to see him get drafted. But this look what Memphis doing, y'all. So Ja Morant is still a member of that Memphis team. Don't forget that. There's no trade market for Ja Morant. He's still under contract. And you got, like I said, Seti Kohar, Jalen Wells. You add Cam Boozer with Zach Edey, and Scottie Pippen Jr. All that. So you got a decent makings of a team. So yeah, when Ja Morant gets healthy, man, if they don't trade him, hell, he more than likely will be helping them in Memphis. So nonetheless, man, Chicago's on the clock now. Boozer's old squad, man, they're on the clock now. So we've seen 3 of them guys. Top guy on the board, Caleb Wilson from UNC, could be next. Or could we see some point guards come off the board right now? Could we see some point guards? They now have this is the team of our former general manager. Bryson Graham is now a VP of affairs with the Chi-Town Bulls. And he came in there and made some moves and did a few things right here. He traded for Nick Claxton. They have some people there, so we'll see what they're trying to do, man, and build up. They have some pieces that was rumored to be on the trade block, like Isaac Okoro and Patrick Williams. Nothing that happened on that so far, but right now, fam, we moving pretty smoothly through the draft. We're already in position in spot number 4. The Bulls on the clock. No trades as of yet. That has happened, but you best believe there are some talkings and stuff going on as of right now. So we just have to see how it plays out and what the Pelicans do. We shall see. All right. So yeah, this is interesting, man, to be honest with you. But yeah, the pick is in for them. So Boozer's the pick for the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Bulls, their pick is in. and we'll see who it is. It might be Caleb Wilson. Well, I'm not sure, but they got some pieces. They got Bryson Graham got his work cut out. They picked up Tiago Splitter as their new coach up there. Dallas just hired their coach, the former Michigan Wolverine coach, as the college coach, as their new coach down in Dallas, and then um, the Portland Trailblazers cheap garbage ass owner Condon hired the assistant coach for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Gave him, I think, like a 1 year deal with a bunch of incentives. I see how far that worked for you. I see how far that worked for you. You don't really want to pay the coach anything, so I guess I don't know, man. I don't know how these guys get into the league and think they could just cheap their way to a championship. We'll see how it worked for you, Playboy. We'll see how it worked for you. But the Bulls got the pick is in, as Lee Salters talk to some of their people. But Chicago, Josh Giddey is the guy with the team. Matias Buzelis. Buzelis is the big there that was actually pretty interesting, and they give him add Nick Claxton to the mix. They still have Colin Saxton, Rob Dillingham, Trey Jones, Anthony Simons is there. Ubaselli is there. Pat Williams is there. Zach Collins is there. So they have some people there, but I think they're trying to reshape this thing and build up. So we'll see what Chicago do next to pick us in on them. And I'm gonna see Bryce Graham. See that go Bryce and Graham sitting right in the middle of the table. Let's see what he got doing. He did a good job with Atlanta, man. And that guy, he kind of moving pretty fast, man, up there the NBA ladder. I mean, he spent 15 years with the Pels, and then within a matter of 2 or 3 years, he jumped 2 spots, GM to VP. Silver's at the board. Let's see what he's talking about. They take Caleb Wilson from North Carolina to be their guy. So we're already through 4 picks right now. No trades as of yet. No trades yet. Usually anywhere between that now and going into that middle of that first round. But Caleb Wilson, the 6'10", 215-pound forward from North Carolina, is the selection for the Chi-Town Bulls. So there you go. The Bulls picking up some length there. So you're looking at Caleb Wilson will start next to Buzelis and Claxton. That's height, because you're looking at Claxton is like 6'10", 6'10", somewhere around in there. Buzelis is 6'9", 6'10", and then you add Caleb Wilson, who's 6'9", 6'10", right there. So they're 6'9", and almost 6'9", almost 6'10". So you got him there, and how he plays, and he's the first team All ACC according to the graphic. But what Chicago's doing is they're adding length. Buzelis is tall. You got Claxton is tall. Now you add Caleb Wilson, who's a good defender and a guy that can, do some things for you. I don't know if about his 3-point game, he averaged almost 20 points a game with 9 rebounds, a block and a half a game. He shot 58% from the field. I don't know what his 3-point shooting is looking like, but he looked like a beast in the mid-range area and fighting around the hoop. He kind of long there, but the Bulls getting hype, man. North Carolina's Caleb Wilson is the pick at number 4. Shy Bulls, that's Bryson Graham with his first selection there. So let's see. Nothing yet on our Pels, fam. Nothing yet on the Pels. Some good picks, though. I got to give him some good picks on what I'm seeing tonight. Decorus says, I hope Joe Dumars can turn this organization around. Okay, put one in the chat if y'all can hear my audio, man. Can y'all hear me good? Put one in the chat. All right. Decorus says, does this franchise care about winning, or do they want to stay media? No, when they made the selection to go after Joe Dumars, that to me showed that the Pelicans were serious about winning. Thank you, Pelicans. Nola, shout out to you for that. Thank you, Tedra. But that's the thing that I see. When they made the move to go after Joe Dumars and get rid of David Griffin, because we was telling people David Griffin was here for what, 6-7 years, something like that. 7 years that man was here. And giving itself extensions and all this stuff, just making it, it's just doing, and it wasn't getting anything. We had a treasure trove of draft capital. And I don't want to get sidebarred here, but when they made the decision to go to get Joe Dumars, right? They were basically fixing an error that they made years prior, because when they created the vice president, there was no VP job in the New Orleans Pelicans organization. The highest you can get outside of being the owner of the team, and and this sort of thing, was general manager. That's the highest you can do in the Pelicans organization. And the GM at the time was Dale Demps. When Demps was failing, they did not want to fire Dale Demps. They wanted to hire Joe Dumars to be the new VP of the team, because he had left the Detroit Pistons, and I think he was working in the league office. And he's from North Louisiana, so they wanted Joe to have an impact, to direct the team, because he was friends with Mickey Loomis and all this kind of stuff. Joe Dumars, and at the time, Tom Benson was alive. Tom Benson, asked him how much it would, Joe's salary would be. And when Joe told him, he decided not to pay him. He said, "Oh, that's okay. We'll keep Dale." And he gave Dale Demps the VP, and he already had the GM, but he gave him the VP spot. Because at the time, Tom Benson bought the team. He just wanted to make money off of it. There was no intention of them to win a championship. That's something that the team got to be serious about, because it takes a certain type of mindset to go after championship basketball in the city of New Orleans. It's a city dominated by the football side of it, but we do have room for winners. Like if the basketball team could pick up and win, and that's what's hurting the reaction from the faithful, is the fact that I don't care how faithful you are, you're not going to sit in that arena and the Pelicans winning 20 games out of 82 games every year. That's a waste of time. They get to leave there mad every night because they'll hold the lead and then lose. I don't care how faithful you are, dedicated. Even with me doing this show for a decade, doing PPR for a decade, I told y'all last year was the hardest season I ever had to do. And I sit up here and watch every last one of these games like I did for the last 10 years, 10 plus years, actually, when I was doing the podcasting. But the reality is that when they hired Joe Dumars, they let me know that they wanted to win, because Joe Dumars came in with it on his mind. He knew what kind of region this is and how the mentality and mindset of people from New Orleans in the region: resilient, tough, dedicated, loyal, faithful people to a degree. Because if you start playing with us, we'll go to that other side real quick on you. But we told the Pelicans that when they hired that wuss David Griffin, he came in here with this soft bullshit about making these, and it was just ridiculous. So Joe comes in, he cleans out all of those guys, gets them out of here, runs them all out of here, fires them, gets them out, whatever, cleans the house up, and then brings in people his size or his mentality, bringing in people that can build the grittiness and the mindset that we want to have. So having the guys, Keaton Wagler is the first point guard taken, and actually I think he's an off guard from Illinois by the Clippers. So the Clippers, they get an Wagler. I think Wagler could play a little 1-2. Now he more of a 2 than 1, but Clippers get a guard, fam, with that pick. So we starting to see this stuff flying off the board here. So Darius Garland gets a playmate, and Keaton Wagler, out of Illinois. So you Kawhi Leonard is still there. Derek Jones, Lopez, I think, is a free agent. So they ain't got much. Benedict Mathurin, John Collins, Isaiah Jackson, Jordan Miller, Chris Dunn. So we'll see what Keaton Wagler do. First team All Big Ten guard there, big guard that can come in and probably play on the side of Darius Garland, as they got to build through the draft at some point. But back to the Pelicans. Short answer of the long answer is the fact that when they hired Joe Dumars, he cleaned out all these people, brought in people that fit his mentality and approach. The Jamal Mosley was a solid move, because it brings truth to power to Joe wanting to develop a team that has a gritty mentality and nature. That's going to fight every night. Not only fight, but an intelligent team. They don't make too many mistakes. They're fundamentally solid on the defensive end. And that's what he said. He spoke about that. Keaton Wagler averaged 18 points. He shot 40% from downtown, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for Keaton Wagler, big guard. Good pickup for the Clippers. But nonetheless, that's what we see. And I think when the Pelicans hired him, I think that was a really solid move because it brings seriousness and respectability to the Pelicans organization. Joe is the most credentialed administrator that the Pelicans have ever had. He's a like I mentioned his resume. He's a top 50 NBA legend, one of the top 50 greatest players ever played the game. Two-time champion as a player. He won a championship as an administrator. So he actually built the Detroit Pistons, who fell down on their face and became a disaster after he left for a long time. They were poorish. They actually built them up. They won a championship. And as an administrator, ain't too many people did that. And, of course, on the back end, he kind of fell over. He mentioned a lot of the failures he had on the back end of his administration with Detroit and how those mistakes he would not make again as if he got a second chance to do it, in which this is in New Orleans. So, when you talk about Griffin did get one as an administrator, but people know that wasn't him. That was LeBron James telling him, go get this guy, go get me Tristan, go get me J.R. Smith, go get this guy, go sign this guy. And the owner of the team, what's his name? I forgot the name. The owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers told David Griffin to listen to LeBron, go do what he say. And he admitted that later on, Griffin did, that he hated being the general manager at the time because he felt like he couldn't do what he wanted to do. So you see what he did, what he wanted to do. It was bullshit. So now with Joe, man, like I said, man, this guy know how to do it as a player and as administrator. Very respectable Jamal Mosley, I think, will do a good job. We have some good talent here. We got a lot of players here that could play. The contracts, we got four $30+ million players. But a lot of these players, the DeJounte Murray contract is a 2-year contract. The Jordan Poole contract is a $30+ million deal, but it's an expiring deal. So we'll see what the Pelicans got going on now because we're now into pick number 6. The selection, I don't know, it's not in. Something might be going on right here because Brooklyn's on the clock. And we'll see what they got going on. Darius Acuff is still available, but you see this is going to be interesting to see how this all works for some of these teams. But nonetheless, Brooklyn's pick is in. We'll see. Darius Acuff is one of my favorite young guards out here. You got Kingston Flemings and a few other guys up there. Brown Jr. is another one. The big center, Mara from Michigan, is up there. That's what I thought would probably be if the Pelicans did get an opportunity to move into the draft, that Mara would be the guy that they targeted. We'll see where Ament. I know they like Ament. I know about Greasonock Jr. But Amara, Ade Amara, gives them a big center presence in the Southwest Division, in a division where you got to have length. You got a 7'4" Wembyama, a 7'4" Wemby. You got a 7. What is Edie? Zach Edey, 7'3", 7'4". You got a big 7'3" Zach Edey, a 7'4" Wemby. You got legitimate talent in Houston and Dallas with Derek Lively Jr. and Sengun. So you gotta it's a center rich division that we operate out, and Pelicans know they need to get more length there. We know about the shooting. So I don't know, man, about this whole thing with Trey Murphy and all this other stuff going on. What the Pelicans want to do. All I know is they ain't do a damn thing yet. So we already 6 picks in, and Brooklyn's pick is in, so it's not a trade. So let's see what's going on with that. And there you go. Michael Brown is the pick. Michael Brown Jr., the guard from Louisville, is going to Brooklyn. Brooklyn I don't know what to say about Brooklyn, fam. Brooklyn is just, they got 1,000 first-round picks up there, and they just had But I guess Michael Brown Jr. going there to be the 2 guard because Ego Deming is the point guard, and they got a bunch of players there, man. They just traded for Julius Randle. They gave up Nicholas Claxton. They got Julius Randle. They added him there. So they added veteran presence there. So I don't know what Brooklyn's gonna do. Brooklyn's not ready to win anything right now. they they're not they don't excite me. I don't know any too many Brooklyn Nets supporters, but it's gonna be a long time before y'all win anything again. They got a million first round picks over there, and I just don't see anything showing me that they're ready. They had 20. Well, they won 20 games last year, so getting Mikael Brown Jr. He's a talented player. Maybe he plays two guard for him next to Igor Deming. So I don't know. Nonetheless, we keep it moving. Sacramento is up next. They're going to take Darius Acuff Jr. I guarantee you that move. Well, I can't guarantee either. It's going to be either Darius Acuff or Kingston Fleming. It's going to be one or two. I know they rumored was that if Darius Acuff was on the board when Sacramento's pick came up, that would be the guy they select because they're looking at moving to the next stage of developing a team in terms of what they got. We know Russell Westbrook's supposed to be retiring. They need a true point guard there. I know they have Devin Carter and Killian Hayes, guys like that, part-time guys, but they need a leader of the future. And Darius Acuff more than likely will be that guy with Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan is there. Keegan Murray, Sabonis, trade rumors around him right now. You got Max Renard, who's the backup center, who's actually pretty good. DeAndre Hunter's out there. Malik Monk is out there. Neat Clifford, Daquan Plowden, and others. Drew Eubanks. So they got a few players out there, but they need a point guard of the future, and I more than likely that's Darius Acuff Jr. I promise you that. They couldn't wait to run that card up there. the pick is already in for them folks, man. Pick is already in. I guarantee it's Darius. He couldn't wait to run that damn pick up there. All right, big ups to you guys. Let me do this, man. Let me ask you guys: do you think Trey Murphy gets traded tonight? Let me put that. Let me do that, man. Let me ask you guys that. Do you guys think that Trey Murphy gets traded tonight? Let me just ask you guys that. Maybe I'll put the poll up. Give me a second. Let me run this poll for you guys. Y'all hit the like button, man, and hype the stream, man. PPR in here. Seeing what the Pelicans going to do tonight. Are we going to make some moves tonight to change this team around, fam? Let me know what y'all think about that. Let me put my poll up right quick. Hold on. Give me just a second. Let me run my poll and see what you guys think about this. What do you think about this? All right. Hold on. Let me run my poll right quick and see what you guys think about that. Actually, let me say TM3. Gets traded tonight. All right, there it is, fam. I got it up for y'all. The poll is up. Val, shout out to Val. Val said, I don't know, Q. The poll's up. Y'all let me know, man, because a lot of people been saying that this brother here, this man talking, the father talking, and the kid and the son like just shaking his head. It's his moment, sir. Let him talk, sir. There you go. Let him talk. And mama just sitting there all pretty and gracious, letting him talk. Like, sir, won't you be quiet? That man, that's his night. Let him talk. He just looks so uninterested what his pops was saying. All right, anyway, we to pick number 7 right now, fam. The Kings are on the clock. I guarantee you, as Commissioner Silver walks out to the podium, this is Darius Acuff Jr. from that is Darius Acuff from Arkansas is the selection. And they couldn't wait to run this card, man. This was a big because they've been looking at him for a while. They were scouting him, and he fell into their laps. This is a good selection because he's to me he's my favorite point guard in this draft is Darius Kell Jr. He got that mentality. I think his game is kind of mirrored like Dame Lillard, sort of like a physical Dame Lillard style game. Tough man, confidence, you know, sees the court well. Just a phenomenal point guard. Love his grit. Love how he played the game. He'll work in Sacramento. So in the 2025 26 consensus first team All American, can score, can dish. He's a talented player, man, and it could be the face of the franchise, the point guard position for Sacramento. So this is a good move for them. They couldn't wait to run that card up here. When they passed up on John Morant. That was the whole situation was about. As you Coach Calipari is at Arkansas now, so if Coach Calipari is an excellent basketball coach, and Darius Cup Jr. was his guy. He was SEC Player of the Year, man. And trust me, this man could play ball, dog. He can play. Tough kid, could play ball, man. So I mean, this is a good pickup for Sacramento, man. If they look and try to put something together for the future. Averaged over 23 points, shot 44% from downtown, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. Sacramento gonna love Darius Cup Jr., man. All right, so anyway, we on to pick number 8. Atlanta, the vaunted Atlanta pick that used to be the Pelicans pick. They're on the clock right now. There is no trades at all up to this point. No rumors, there are plenty of rumors, but nothing substantive that is happening currently for the Pelicans. So y'all put in the comment section. Let me know. The poll is up. What do you guys think about Trey Murphy? Will Trey Murphy be traded tonight? Now remember, this just round 1. Round 2 is tomorrow. We're already at number 8 pick in the first round. This is our old pick that we gave up last year, and the Hawks are on the clock with it right now. Followed in after that, 8 is Atlanta, number 9 is Dallas, number 10 is the Milwaukee Bucks pick as they there. So Darius Cup, man, is gonna work for them. Good pickup. All right. Carlton, what's up, brother? Says I'm not having draft pick Joe sure made it interesting. Thank you, bro. All right, Nat says Pelicans just sorry. You ain't lying, brother. Over time, the Pelican, what is it? 26 games this year and 21 games the year before, fam. That wasn't even the Pelicans didn't win 50 games over the last 2 years. They didn't win, and they're about to go on break right now. I think this is the first break of the right now of the draft. So maybe this is the time where the Pelicans can have a little bit of time to see if they can get into that 8 spot or whatever the case may be, because Ament is still up there. Mara is another guy that's interesting for them if they're looking to get in there. But the pick is in, according to the highlights is showing us that the pick is in. Atlanta's pick is in, and we'll see what it is when they get back on from the break. But yeah, the Pelicans been they didn't win 50 games in 2 years. 21 2 years ago, and last year 26 games. That's awful. That is awful. That's terrible. And of course, remember, we would have got rid of Willie Green last year, but Gail Benson. This is the incompetent thing we talk about with incompetent ownership, is that she refused to let Joe fire Willie Green, because Joe Dumars, he takes over the team. He's not when Joe Dumars in his first year took over the team, Willie Green wouldn't have been here. He would have fired Willie Green. The only reason why Willie stayed was because of Gail Benson's influence, and it got really nasty after 10 games because they kept losing, and he was like termites with steroids in them. No matter what you did, he wasn't going nowhere. But it took the heat and pressure of the supporters to put all that pressure and heat on Gail to a point where she released a statement and said, "I'm not doing this, that, and the third." And then the next day after she put the statement out, Joe Dumars fired Willie Green because it was her. She kept Willie Green here because she was cool with Willie's wife, and she did not want to fire him. Now, that's a cool gesture if in certain environments, I guess. But if you're in the complex and super competitive world of the NBA, that's not going to cut it. When a head coach loses his team, the way Willie Green did, he should have been fired at the end of that year. But Gail kept him into Joe Dumars 10 games into Joe Dumars' first year, which he eventually, when he fired him, then you had his lackey in Borrego for 70 games, and he did 5 games better than Willie Green, and he was supposed to be the offensive juggernaut that was supposed to fire the Pelicans up. All they did was they still underperformed because he's not a person that they took instruction from seriously. He talking about loving on the players. He wouldn't chastise the players, but he would over congratulate them, over protect them, over all this old weak stuff, man. We don't want that. If you do wrong, get chastised. If you do right, get celebrated. And he just wouldn't do that. So we got him out of here. And yeah, people actually wanted to keep that guy. Like, man, are you crazy, man? Do you want to win or not? You're not going to keep his acolytes here. Now, they do have some people in roles, couple of holdovers from Willie's time, but eventually over time, you'll see Mosley bringing his guys in down the line and weed the rest of those guys out. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, in the end, the team mentality wise has to improve. It has to improve. And when you get Jamal Mosley here, that lets you know right off the bat. When he came in the press conference, he told you we're gonna do it. And before you guys ask me about offense, we're gonna do it with the defense. That's the first thing he asked because you knew it. We're gonna do it with the defense. What you mean do it with the defense? Meaning do it with the defense, meaning he gonna use defense turnover their offense to transition points, turnover points. And and they have offensive game too that need to improve, but defense is a big part of it. But anyway, here goes Silver. He's back from the commercial. The Hawks pick is in, and it's the Hawks is picking up Kingston Flemings from Houston. So there you go. Kingston Flemings from Houston is the pick for them. So we got 2 guards going back to back in the draft here. As you're gonna see, guards start coming off the board here. They got a lot of talented guards in this draft. It's a very guard friendly draft. A lot of talented guards in this draft, and you get a guy like him at the 8th spot. Atlanta, they read up with Coach Snyder. They gave him an extension. They re-signed C.J. McCollum, gave him a deal. They still have NAW down there: Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Okongwu, Lindale, Jonathan Kuminga. They got Aaron Wiggins. They traded for Aaron Wiggins from the OKC team. And now they got Kingston Fleming. He's the first team all Big 12 point guard out of the University of Houston. And he the same height as Commissioner Silver. So he got good height on him. And this is another one of these fantastic guards, man. I got like Darius A-Cup's game better than Kingston Fleming, but he's smooth. But having a game, these guys into your team, because both Sacramento and Atlanta needed for guards that can facilitate and score. He averaged 16 points. He shot 39% from downtown, and he has 5+ 3-pointers. 5 rebounds, over 5 rebounds a game, for 5 assists rather, and 4 rebounds a game for Kingston Fleming. So 16 points a game ain't bad to get Kingston Fleming to go with Coach Snyder in Atlanta. And you can see Coach Snyder at the bottom of the screen. If you're watching it, is coughing and clapping it up that he got his point guard. And Kingston Fleming, will step in there for you and direct your offense in ATL. So that's pretty cool. So talented guards here, man. Talented guards. And Mikael Brown, Darius A-Cup, Kingston Flemings, all them guys going in back to back to back. Next up, 9th pick, Dallas. No trade so far, no Pelican stuff so far, fam. Nothing from the Pelicans yet. No moves, none of this stuff going on from the Pelicans right now. Not a damn thing happening with the Pelicans right now, to be honest. Not a damn thing happening with the Pelicans right now. Nothing happening at all right now with them. So we'll see what the other end goal is for them right now, but ain't nothing happening in terms of trades. We heard all this other stuff that was going on, and I'm not seeing anything right now from the Pelicans. Now that don't mean stuff won't get to popping and snapping and shaking. That could be happening in the middle of the second round. We about to get outside of the top 10 in a few picks. Right now, Dallas is next up, and the pick is in for them. And right now, ain't no news popping at all on nothing going on. So Dallas on the clock. Some of the top players, Nate Ament from Tennessee is considered the best player, followed by Mara. What does Dallas need? Dallas said that they wouldn't be trading um, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, they said they won't trade. Of course, Dallas just got a new coach. The former the Michigan Wolverines basketball coach took over Dallas. Dusty. So you got him there, and of course the move was made because the person that's running the organization is the I think the GM is the guy that used to was running. I forgot the man name, African fella. He used to run Toronto. He took over the job, and Dusty May took over now. So Dusty May is the new head coach of the of the Dallas Mavericks. He replacing Jason Kidd. Won a lot of games in college, man. This guy was a winner, but he's making that step up to the next level. And he's the first head coach out of college in a while, man, to kind of step up after it because he just won a national championship. He had a lot going on, so whatever they did, they must offered him a lot of money to take that job, man, because he could have stayed right where he was with Michigan. He had it all lined up for them to go back, but for him, they probably gave him a big amount of money. But he have Cooper Flag, Kyrie Irving, and guys like that still there. Cooper Flag, Kyrie, Max Christie, Derek Lively is still there. Najee Marshall. I don't know if Daniel Gafford's going to be there, but Klay Thompson, this is another guy. I don't think he's going nowhere right now. But they have an interesting team. So Brandon Williams is another little guy there. So the pick is in, and I could help. I don't know what they're going to do, but we're going to see what the pick could be for them. As Adam Silver's walking out. What the pick is in Nate Ament. We'll see what it is. Is Morez Johnson Jr. the Michigan big? Of course it is. He picked his own player. Now that's what I call fixing the deck in your favor. If you're Dusty May, he drafted his own his own college player. Hey, ain't that a joke? Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Coach Dusty chose his own. He chose his own man. That's how you stack the deck in your favor. So he gets Morez Jr., Johnson Jr. He's a 6'9", 6'10", 250-pound. They call him a center, but more of a forward from Michigan. This is a guy that's athletic. He moves well. And he going to – I don't know if I would have – but see, that's Dusty doing that because a lot of people seeing him as like a middle of the middle first rounder going toward the back end late with other players going ahead of him. But being that this is his college coach, why would he not take guys he's familiar with out of college? And he brings this guy in here to be his pick. So there you go. Morez Johnson Jr. from Michigan is the pick for Dallas. And he adds length because you got Cooper Flag already there. PJ Washington, not sure what they're going to do with him. And then, of course, Derek Lively, who just keeps getting injured. He's a talented big. But Lively, he gotta step his game up, man. Lively been hurt a lot lately, man. So we'll see what happened right there. I guess you could do the small ball thing. But yeah, he might be one of them guys that you see right there that'll come in and play that other forward position. I guess PJ Washington at. He might be at that PJ Washington spot. But we'll see, man, how they go. But that's not a bad pickup for them, man. I just probably thought that Nate Ament would probably be a better selection than Morez Johnson. 13 points a game, 7 rebounds, 62% shooting from the field because a lot of his baskets come from underneath or around the cup. So he know where his game at, but there it is. So okay, now we're at the 10th pick in the draft right now. Milwaukee is on the clock. The Milwaukee Bucks are on the clock. There is nothing going on in terms of what the Pelicans is, and this is where we start hearing stuff. Stuff should be popping and snapping if it's anything. And if it's anything, things should be popping and snapping right about now. We'll see what that is. All right. All right. Shout out to y'all, man. What y'all think about this, man? All right. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pops moment. Yeah, yeah, you seen that, y'all? That little thing with y'all got to watch these pops because they be sitting there and it be the kids' moments, the draft and the parents start popping off a little too much, you know. Yeah. All right. Slim said Dumars is probably just chilling. Hey, bro, I don't see nothing going on in terms of what the Pelicans is. All this talk. Y'all let me know what y'all hear. Yaxel Lindenberg is better than Nate Ament. Okay. I got you, brother. He definitely got the size, and something tell me he could probably gonna be in the inside of the next 5 picks. To be honest with you, that probably end up get selected, man. To be honest with you, brother. You probably you might he might be inside the next several picks to get picked up here. But yeah, but it's like they consider the best available player. That's there, Yaxel Lindenberg from Michigan. Um, yeah, that's interesting because he chose more Johnson over him, and I thought that he might be the guy. I thought Johnson would be a guy that go a little further back, but there you go. But yes, like several Michigan players in this draft that go inside the top 15. That go inside the top 15. Demara, Yaxel Lindenborg, and then you got Johnson that just went. So it's a bunch of former Michigan guys that could have went high in the draft with Dusty selected them. Dusty stepping into that Dallas job, man, with Cooper Flag. And Kyrie Irving. No, we'll see what he can do. All right, they still got a few other good players left, and still plenty of talent, man, for the Pelicans. If they're gonna do something, that's on this board. I mean, what the Pelicans up to, man? Milwaukee's on the clock. Milwaukee Bucks are on the clock. Could the Pelicans be working behind the scenes to try to get into? If we're gonna do something, it's got to be between this pick and what's going on. I guess between 10 and 15, right? If you're looking at something, So all right, they're saying Milwaukee's pick is already in. I don't see a damn thing going on with the Pelicans, y'all. There go your boy standing next to him. That's one of his people now. He's standing up next to him. What's his LeBron boy name? What's his name? The little Illuminati dude. What's his name? I forgot his name. Paul. I forgot the man name. I see him all the time. His name slips past me. Y'all put it in the chat. LeBron, little buddy. All right, Lambo Hoffa. What's up, Lambo Hoffa? What's up, Hoffa? He says, Q, they're not doing nothing tonight. Bro, I'm sitting here like Nate Ament. If you see a picture of Nate Ament sitting there, he just sitting there just like ain't nothing going on. Six Figure says Trey will be a warrior. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Rich. There you go. There you go. Rich Paul. There you go. Yeah, I forgot the little brother name, man. I said what I said. LeBron, the Illuminati, buddy. That's who got him in the game. All right, Troy says it's a new regime in New Orleans. They won't get fleeced. Trust the process. I'm with you, bro. I definitely gonna give you that because to me, Joe Dumars is the truth. I think Joe Dumars has a reputation of fixing it, and the first thing you can do is get him to play like Detroit, and I think that'll turn a lot of the people around in New Orleans. Here go Milwaukee. Pick is in. Braden Burris, another guard, y'all from Arizona. So there you go. They take their guard, and of course we know Milwaukee got all those draft picks They picked up in the Giannis deal. They got all of those players, man, in the Giannis deal. And I ain't say they fleeced Miami because Miami got what they wanted. They got Giannis, but boy, oh boy, did Milwaukee. It must be Danny Ainge Jr. running Milwaukee. How they put that stuff together? Because you still got Ryan Hollins. You add Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr., and they're looking to trade Miles Turner. Rumors is they're trying to trade Miles Turner because they got Kyle Ware to go there. Still got Kevin Porter. They got Kaspareris. He's there. So and Kyle Kuzma's still there and all this kind of stuff. But so what they did was they added a bunch of talented players. That now Braden Burris is added to the team now as the future guard. So I mean, they have a lot of talent, and now they're taking the picks that they got from Miami. They got the picks and picks that they have, and ones they got from Miami to kind of help with this process. And remember Taylor Jenkins is the new head coach of the Milwaukee team. So these guys, like I told you, fam, this guy averaged 16 points a game on 39% shooting from downtown, 5 rebounds, and not as many assists as you would like to see from him, but excitable guard, man. Excitable guard. And we'll see what he does with Milwaukee. But yeah, this is 10th pick by the Bucks. Taylor Jenkins, the former Memphis Grizzlies coach, is now operating in Milwaukee. And like I said, they're going to give him a long runway to kind of build his team. And man, getting Giannis out of there and adding all that talent, Milwaukee made out like fat rats on that trade, man, to be honest with you. All right. Yeah. CM says Jaxel's perfect for Pels. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing though, right? We all know that the Pelicans, they're viewed as they're just too small. We need if we're gonna run in that Southwest fan, we need length. We need length. We need to go out and get some length there. And unfortunately, we don't have the money to go out and attract free agents like that. So the Pelicans have to be really intelligent. Let's just like that. They got to be really intelligent on how they employ or move around assets, trade players, or what you got to do to build a team. How the coach sees it, you know. I mean, we'll see how it all looks, man. It'll be interesting to see how they do it, man. But we'll see what the Pelicans got going tonight, man. All right, says Trey will be a warrior. Young Bloods, what's happening, fam? Says Q, if the Pelicans don't make a move tonight, that should tell the fans to stop getting upset when the sports writers post these reports. Should tell the fans stop getting upset because the reports are BS, right? I mean, let's say it might be something where the Pelicans are, talking to people, but some of the beat writers know, like they get a lot of views on these articles right now because the Pelicans have done. Let's just be real. The Pelicans have done a phenomenal job and just keeping everything close to the vest to the point where you just hear certain rumors happening. The Ja Morant rumor, they just inquired about what you want for Ja Morant. The outsiders blew it up. Ja Morant. That Ja Morant thing been going on with the Pelicans for a long time, right? That's been something we talked about that last year. We talked about it now this year. No, it's no substance to it. The trades around Herb and Trey, this sort of thing. I do think that if anybody's going to get traded, more than likely, it probably would be Herb Jones. We did know that there were rumors saying Boston, if a trade fell through with Boston, because Boston gave, according to the insiders, 2 first-round draft picks and Brown offered that to the Bucks. They wanted more draft capital than what Boston was offering. because Jalen Brown said that he wanted to have his own team. So then the rumors was if that fell through, they would pivot to the Pelicans for Trey. And would you take 2 first-round draft picks and Jalen Brown uh, for Trey Murphy? That won't be the same deal. The Boston Celtics would want assets back too. So it's a lot of stuff going on. Like I said, the Pelicans are holding on to that Desmond Bain mentality. They want to have multiple first-round draft picks and a player that they're swapping you for multiple picks, 2, 3 picks, the grandfather package, like we seen. I say the grandfather, the Godfather package, as we call it, the Godfather package. Desmond Bain, Rudy Gobert, that type of trade package for Trey Murphy. And even though his trade value is really up, are there really any teams that's willing to give that? Look at Common back. What is Common doing now? They got Common back there behind Yaxel. But the reality is, if that is indeed the case, then I don't think any teams out there offering the Godfather package for Trey Murphy. They're not. They're not offering. They might be offering 2 picks and a player or something like that, but I don't think nobody's going to do that. As the Golden State Warriors are picking at 11 and the pick is in, there's been no trades of any kind so far in the draft. Draft just moving along. No trades at all. No trades in the top. We're outside the top 10 now. Stuff still going on. Lindenborg is still there. Mara's still there. Ament is still there. Golden State's on the clock. What does Golden State do with their selection? What does G State do? What do the Warriors need? What kind of help the Warriors need? I know Curry is the guy. You got Podziemski still there. Santos, Draymond Green getting old. Porzingis. I guess they can use they can use 2 through 4, 5 if you ask me. They could use any one of these players. To be honest with you, they could use any one of them. They can use 2 through 5 if you ask me. So we'll see what's going on, but nothing happening right now, fam. No trades. We're outside the top 10 now. We're going to 11 on, so it ain't no trades as of right now. Nothing's happening. And here comes Silva out to announce who the Golden State Warriors are going to select for the draft. And it's Lindenborg. It's Jackson Lindenborg, 6'10", 240 pounds from Michigan. So there go another Michigan Wolverine selected just outside the top 10. His buddy went inside the top 10 to Dallas. And like I said, Michigan got 3 of them. They got 3 top 15 guys, because I'm pretty sure Mara more than likely going to be going soon too. Maybe not to OKC, maybe not to Miami, because we'll see what they got going on. But at some point between 9 pick 20, you're going to see them guys come off the board. Mara's the next one to come. Well, not next, but he'll be coming off that board between 9 pick 20. I promise you that much. So right now we're already into pick number 11 as he hugs on his mama. Very proud moment for the brother. And mama happy. Mama said you made it. Sharing in the moment. That powerful energy, man, with the brothers. They made it. They made it. They accomplished the dream. Big 10 player of the year. And like I said, these guys won a championship with Michigan. It's crazy because the coach is now in the NBA, and now his top 3 players more than likely going to be following them in the NBA. One of them actually on the same team. So there you go. So Lindenborg is in. So there you go. That's a good fit for Golden State, because I mean you can see him at the 4, small lineup. I don't know if I would say I put him at the 5 in the lineup, but you know Golden State like to play small at times. They got that Al Horford thing going when they put Al Horford there, that sort of thing. But Golden State need all the youth they can come up with, man. It was talks they was trying to lure LeBron James out there. I'm like, man, LeBron need to go ahead on with that. Let me ask y'all this off topic about LeBron James. LeBron James did a lot of great stuff, but I won't dare say even make mention of comparing him to Michael Jordan. I just don't think that's a fair comparison in my book. I would kind of, if anybody wants to be compared, maybe LeBron to a Kobe before I would even talk about MJ. But there was some stuff that I heard that LeBron talked about him being the GOAT. Y'all heard that? And some players got kind of insulted by that. I heard some of the stuff online for some former players that talked about the flopping that he does, and when you ever seen Michael Jordan flop, did you ever see any of these players go? They can't win on their own, so what they do is they go form super teams to do this sort of thing. Um, him losing in championships before Jordan went 6 for 6. This sort of thing. Even as great as Kobe Bryant was, he didn't win every time he went to the finals, right? But LeBron, I mean, he played for what, 20 years or something like that. You can give him the longevity award, but I don't know if I would say the man the GOAT. He did some great stuff, but it's something different going on when I talk about some of the greatest players thereof. I mean, he's in the conversation, I imagine. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the LeBron thing, because I would not dare compare the man to Michael Jordan, maybe Kobe Bryant, but that's a whole nother different world. Yeah. All right, now they just say, this draft full of very talented guards, man. Very talented. Also adds we own the Bucks pick next year. I talked about that early on, bro. That Bucks pick next year is going to be really good for us because the Bucks are going to be seen as a team that's going to struggle. But then again, they got some talent there. They added some people, um, Tyler Hero to go along with Collins, and Jaime Hawkins is over there, and they got some bench depth behind them. So Taylor Jenkins is going to get them playing. So hopefully we will have the pick will be a lot better than when it was if Giannis would have been there. All right, they said Thaddeus just said that they just had a reported trade with Brooklyn. I have been checking the waiver wise. I got any alerts on anything as of yet. I haven't got anything on anything as of yet about any trades yet. But it's real strange that we already 12 picks in and not one. It hadn't been one trade yet. That's strange. OKC is on the clock. The pick is in for them. It'd probably be Nate Ament from Tennessee. Wouldn't that be crazy if he go to OKC? OKC just pick up all the talent. He could be he would be a good pickup for them at that 4 spot. OKC just said we're gonna get better with it. We're gonna get better with it. Yeah, it'll be interesting. But Chet Holmgren, I don't know if Isaiah Hartenstein is supposed to come back. I know Chet Holmgren played that 4 spot. Jalen Williams. I know Dort is supposed to be somebody they're moving on from, but they still have other people. Maybe Jared McCain and Cason Wallace. AJ Mitchell is there. I know they did trade Wiggins. They got rid of him, traded him out. Caruso's still there. Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams is there, the center. The 4-5 guy, he's there. So, we'll see what they do. But OKC's on the clock next, and the pick is in. I wonder who OKC's targeting in this draft. We'll see who their selection is, but their pick is in. Right now, number 12 is OKC. Their pick is in. 13 is the Miami Heat pick at number 13. And Charlotte is at number 14 selection. So right now, there it is. There it is. Right now, nothing from the Pelicans, fam. We got zilch from the Pelicans right now. Y'all hit the like button, man. Hype the stream, man. PPR in the building. As well, there's a poll question up for the family members. Asking y'all opinion, man. I want to know y'all thoughts on will Trey Murphy III get traded tonight? Right now, and there go Mara, the other Michigan player. He's off the board. My goodness, OKC just got Mara. Wow. You gotta be kidding. This is a move. This they did this. This is gonna be crazy work right here. This is crazy, man. Mara that's the guy they're gonna throw at Wemby when they meet him there. OKC went and got Mara, man. That's crazy. And they already got Chet Holmgren. Chet wasn't tall enough. He couldn't deal with Wemby. Now you got Mara for Wemby to slow Wemby down. 7'3" with no shoes on, 7'4" with shoes. Wemby 7'4". So you got, oh my God, man. Super length. OKC with Mara, that's just crazy work, man. That's crazy work. OKC continues to just sit there and improve, man. Now it's just another huge center to throw at Wembyama because of what happened. And then, of course, OKC didn't have Jalen Williams in the series. He was hurt. And I think it'll be a lot more competitive series if he was playing. But this is a reaction to Wembyama, man. It got Mara to slow Wemby down, and they still got Chet Holmgren. I don't know what they'll do with Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't know if he's still there, but if he's still going to be in the contract. But yeah, 7'3" Mara from Michigan is now with the OKC Thunder. That's crazy work. That's insane, man. That's so unfair, man. That's cheating, man. 12 points a game, 7 rebounds. A lot of people thought that he should have averaged more rebound because of that, but if you notice, a lot of the uh, games that he was played away, because he actually has a nice shot too for a big. He a big guy. He got a bevy of moves. He also got a jump shot, and he can hit threes and stuff like that. So you see, all the Michigan players are gone, man. All his guys are gone. And he already, Coach May, Dusty May is in the NBA. And all 3 of his top players from Michigan Championship Club are in the NBA too. They went ninth, 11th, and 12th picks. That's crazy. First time that happened since 1985, according to the graphic. They got a reported trade that happened. Of course, that's the trade they're talking about with Miami. With the Milwaukee Bucks trade that they had, this has happened with a part of the Giannis deal. If y'all know what I mean, that's what they're saying up on the screen. They got a reported trade. That's not in terms of us. That's what happened with Miami and Milwaukee, and they're just reporting it on the screen. Which is just saying that Milwaukee that Miami pick is Milwaukee's pick. So Milwaukee is at 13 picking, and the Pelicans ain't nowhere to be found yet. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what it is. All right, Slim says Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe he says his name the Pels will have to deal with. Man, listen, that's crazy work, man. That OKC win got Mara in response to Wembyama, because that's what that is. That's what that is. They're throwing that length at Wemby because you still have Chet Holmgren. You're going to get Jalen Williams back. That's how smart teams do, man. That's how smart teams react. That's so unfair, man. All that length. We're not going to be able to compete with these tall-ass people, man. Shit. All right, 992 says that's because Chet got abused in the way. Yeah, I know, bro. They will play Chet at power again. That's crazy, and that's the crazy, bro. 7'3", 7'4" center Amara. Chet Holmgren's what, 7'2" or 7 feet tall? I think he's like 7 feet tall himself. Isaiah Hartenstein is what, 7 feet, 6'11", 7 feet tall. Not tall enough. And these people waited to the 12th pick and got Mara from Michigan. And we haven't heard anything from the Pelicans, who also need a lot of length. Pels need a lot of length, man. Hoffa says, damn, I hate this team. If it wasn't for PPR, I wouldn't even bother. This organization doesn't care about losing. I guess you mean winning. We're losing on purpose. 20-something win season, no moves. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, right? They need to shake something loose, man. Val says that's just keeping OKC window wide open. That is, fam, I can't tell y'all how crazy that is for them to get Mara and they already had Chet. That's just smart drafting. That's just smart drafting by OKC brass because they understood, like Fam said, 992 said, how what happened to Chet with Wemby, and that's the neutralizer because you're gonna need a big like that to throw at Wemby. We're in the same division as the Spurs. The Spurs aren't going away. They're not going away. They're only going to get better because New York out just listen. New York just outcoached the Spurs. They just outcoached them. Uh, Mitch Reptilian Eye Johnson. He was just one of these. He was still kind of figuring that thing out. And the whole thing with Fox pulling Foxy out of there and all this kind of stuff. This all going to be fixed come uh, the start of next year. The Spurs went from one of the worst to first in the West. Wembyama's realized you got Harper, you got Castle, and all these guys. The Spurs are going to be much improved. They were pissed off. They're going to come back with an edge. The Spurs mean business. They're not a fluke. They're going to be there. And we're in the Southwest division, and we're gonna be in there with Zach Edey. Zach Edey is another big that we got to deal with Memphis. You got Wemby with San Antonio. You got the 7-footer with Houston and Sengun, and then maybe Derek Lively when he's healthy for Dallas. So they got some legitimately really good, solid centers in the Southwest division. The Pelicans have to do better. We gotta get more length here. And OKC just leveled up on our asses right there. I don't know what to tell y'all on that. That was just too smart. CN says, I got OKC got 8 Amara because they need a Wemby stopper. They tired of Wemby. Yeah, I know, bro. Yeah, I agree with you. Quincy says Pelicans pass on perfect opportunity. Mara was the guy. I was saying Mara was the guy. He went all the way to what was the pick 12? He went to pick 12. So the Pelicans, I know they like Ament, but I was saying, man, listen, we're in the Southwest. We need that length. We need to get us some length here. And if you don't get them through the draft, how you gonna get them? I mean, they can try to see if they can package trades together, but all these teams, aren't doing anything. I mean, the Pelicans are the quietest team in the NBA. I mean, they're the quietest team in the NBA right now. Even Charlotte was making some moves, thinking about trying to do some things, all this kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know, man. We just got to wait and see what they do. But we know tonight tomorrow will be a pick. They at pick 58. I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the night. We haven't heard anything in terms of the Pelicans. A lot of the smoke and fire was supposed to be the Pelicans trying to climb up into the draft to perhaps grab one of these Michigan guys. I don't know what they're doing. It don't seem to be nothing right now. Maul, what's up, bro? Says, what happens to Jordan Poole and his contract? Jordan Poole's on a 1-year deal. Look at Oscar Robertson, man, the great Oscar Robertson. Michael Jordan called him the greatest. They asked Michael Jordan who's the greatest player ever. And Michael Jordan said Oscar Robertson, the big O, who averaged like what, a triple double. How many years he played? He was just dominating them people. But anyway, what happened with Jordan Poole is simple. Jordan Poole has 1 year remaining on his contract. It's an expiring deal, and more than likely, if they don't move him early in it, they'll move him before the trade deadline because it's an expiring deal. Miami's on the clock, and Nate Ament is off the board to Miami. So Miami just, that pick is being made for the Bucks. So yeah, I think that's one of the Bucks that Miami making the call. They're making the selection for Milwaukee. So he gonna put on a Milwaukee Bucks hat. It's crazy, man. Milwaukee getting all these talented players, man. Building their team slowly. Oh man. Man. Nate Ament, that's the one the Pelicans wanted. He fell all the way to 13. No sign of the Pelicans. All the Pelicans gonna do? I'm starting to think they ain't doing nothing. The two guys that were shooting at Amara and Ament is off the boards now. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing, man. I don't know. Thank you, Marley Mall. Yeah, he's still on the team. All right, Hopper says, if we don't make any moves this year, you can't tell me they're not trying to lose on purpose. We do. I don't think it'll benefit them this year to talk about losing on purpose because the Pelicans are not like the Milwaukee Bucks or a team that's or the Brooklyn Nets. The Pelicans have an 8-year veteran and Zion Williamson making 40 something $1 million. DeJounte Murray he's in his prime. Uh, Trey Murphy's right now is not a developing player. These are actual contributing players. He led the team in scoring last year. Zion was right behind him. Trey was 21 and a half. Zion was 21 flat. So these players are right now 7 and 8 years in the league. Zion, Trey's a little less, but these are not developing players anymore. These are mature players now. They're supposed to be contributing at a high level, carrying their team. That's what the Pelicans are. The Pelicans were supposed to grow up and develop um, with Zion, and he has not been consistent with the Pelicans. And we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see. But yeah, you're thinking, family, that this would if all of the reports about trading into the top 10 of the draft was all some balderdash because I'm not, and eventually it'll come out, but I'm not hearing a damn thing from none of the insiders that's saying anything about the Pelicans trying to wheel and deal a damn thing. This thing is just moving along. There have been no trades. Of course, you had the Miami Heat, Milwaukee situation that occurred, but outside of that, it's nothing happening here. It's nothing in terms of the Pelicans. Now the next 3 picks go Charlotte, Chicago again, and then Memphis. So you have Chi-Town back on the board at 15th, the Grizzlies back on the board at 16th, and no movement from the Pelicans. Lionel says no one wants Trey for a pick. They probably asking. Yeah, indeed, that's what I was saying. The Pelicans wanted the Godfather package, like the Desmond Bain package, like multiple first round picks, player picks, pick swaps, whatever the case may be. Rudy Gobert, multiple first round picks, stuff like that for this player, and that's just not what was going to happen here. That's teams were like, nah, we're not going to do it. You can see why Matt's talk. His pops is up there too. Pops got height on him. But yeah, they talk about the trades, but you can see for yourself the number 13 pick, which is Nate Ament. He's going to Milwaukee, even though he wearing the Miami Heat. He's going to Milwaukee. So don't get confused by that, fam. Remember, Nate Ament is going to Milwaukee, a part of that trade, the Giannis trade, that 13 overall pick this year, plus multiple picks, 2031, 2033, and then you get pick swaps in 2030 and 2033 a second round pick. So with Tyler Hero, Kyle Ware, Hami Hakez, Kasparata, Jakunis, all these people. So very interesting, man. Charlotte's on the clock right now, and Sham Sharani is supposed to be talking about something. Let me see what he's talking about, fam. Okay, he talked about Milwaukee, but Jimmy Haslam, that's the Cleveland Browns owner. He got stock in Milwaukee. But the bottom line is this, man. You gotta love what Milwaukee's doing. I mean, they basically took Giannis, shipped him out of there, and they built building the next generation on the back of Giannis with all those picks. They already had good players. Not only did they get the picks, and you add Nate Ament there, but Ryan Hollins, who's already a good player, Tyler Hero is now with Milwaukee now as a 2 guard to play next to Ryan. That's actually a pretty decent backcourt of Ryan Hollins and Tyler Hero. Hero just needs to stay healthy. Dehami Hawkes is at the 3 spot. And then you have Miles Turner, who they're looking to trade Miles Turner. Kyle Ware operates as a center. None of these contracts are expensive. They got Jack Ahunas as a throw-in as a backup point guard. Kevin Porter's already there. They got some ball players over there, man, to start off with. And here we go. Charlotte's on the clock right now. Their pick is in as we keep this thing going. There's a trade in. Well, we know about that. That was the Milwaukee thing. He announced the trade. It wasn't no trade, fam. He announced what happened earlier in terms of them that Nate Amat's going to Milwaukee as a part of the deal that they made earlier today. Charlotte took Kane Steinbach, the forward from Washington, who was considered the best guy on the board. 6'11", 230-pound center from the University of Washington. He's the guy that Charlotte is going to pick up. And Charlotte got some interesting stuff. They won 4. Charlotte had a turnaround too. Everybody did good. Some of the teams struggled. Charlotte actually won 44 games last year, fam. LaMelo Ball got happened. You see Con Knipple, he stepped up and had solid. Brandon Miller was there. Miles Bridges, and you got Diabate at the center position. Kobe White, the former Chicago Bull player, is there. Ryan Kalkbrenner, that's the big backup center that was there as well. So they're trying to build the team, and they get this guy here is like a really tough rebounding force for him to have. So I guess he will be eventually bred into that 4 spot for them because they need him. They already got plenty of scoring, but they need a gritty rebounder. And that's what Steinbach brings at 6'11", almost 6'11", 250 pounds. Very solid player, but mostly like a brutish player, hard rebounder, clean up the glass type player. And that's what they wanted to get. That's what they got. The guy that can be groomed to that 4 spot for Charlotte. So, yeah, average 18.5 points with 12 rebounds and almost a block and a half a game. Those are respectable numbers out of the University of Washington. That's really respectable numbers. And, his father played with Dirk Nowitzki. So there you go. So there you go. Buckhard Steinbach, his father played. He was a teammate of Dirk Nowitzki. What is this, the German team? Way back in the G. So you got that bloodline. So anyway, the 14th pick off the board, Haynes Steinbach, goes to Charlotte. More than likely be groomed to play that 4 spot. Next 3 picks, Chicago is back on the clock. Memphis is back on the clock. OKC is back on the clock. My goodness, we just gonna watch these people double pick. Perils, we're not gonna get involved. Pelicans. My goodness, we're gonna sit up here and watch these people double pick, man. We just seen Chicago take somebody. Memphis took somebody. OKC just took somebody. We're gonna sit up here and watch these people double pick. Okay, Pels, what we doing? Well, I guess there is no. I guess right now there's no reason for them to do anything now with Nate Ament. It's going, but then it's still Chris Knock Jr. I thought there was a want for him. I mean, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm just doing the knowledge, just seeing what's happening here. I don't know what the hell happened, but I know that the next 3 picks is going to be Chicago again. And y'all remember Chicago picked 4th. They got Caleb Wilson from UNC from North Carolina. They got him. So Bryson Graham is back on back there, and this is a pick they got from Portland. So they're back up there. Memphis is at number 16, and Memphis picked. Well, when did Memphis picked in the top 3? They picked up Cameron Boozer with the 3rd pick. So you had Chicago, who picked fourth. They put Caleb Wilson. They picking next. Memphis, they picked Cameron Boozer with the third pick. And now you see OKC following them. And OKC just picked at the 12th pick. They got Mara, the big center, to match up against Wemby. So, damn. So we got three teams that just picked. They about to pick again. And I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, the lineup goes from fit. We're at pick number 15 now, family. 15, Chicago. Memphis is 16th. OKC is 17th. The Hornets are 18th. So the Hornets pick again at 18th. It's a pick they got from Orlando via Phoenix. The Raptors at 19th. The Spurs are at 20th. They got that pick from Atlanta. The Pistons are at 21. They got that pick from Minnesota. The Sixers at 22nd. The Hawks are at 23rd. They got that pick from Cleveland. The Knicks pick at 24th. The Lakers pick at 25th. 26th is the Nuggets. 27th is the Celtics. And 28th is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Cleveland is 29th. And then Minnesota Timberwolves close out the first round with pick 30 they got from OKC via Washington and Philadelphia. So that's the picks right now. Currently, there is nothing going on in terms of trades that is happening that didn't happen prior to what we seen earlier with the Milwaukee and Miami trades that went down, but nothing else is going on right now. So just to let y'all know. All right, Quincy says they've been said OKC would draft Mara. Yeah, they said, but to actually go and do it, and the guy falls to him, and teams that need length like the Pelicans, I guess I don't know the logic. All right, Lebo says Q and family, tell me what we have done to say this state organization care about winning. They gotta show us, brother. They gotta show us. They gotta show us what time it is, man. I ain't played that one in a while. Shout out to Hoffa, man. I was sitting that one at you, my boy. Oh man. Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going, man. Much love to y'all. Hit that like button, man. All right, Mr. Ballin says, I agree with your Q on that LeBron Jordan debate. It's not really a debate. Yeah, bro, listen. I respect LeBron for what LeBron do, but I heard some comments that came from him, allegedly came from him about him thinking that he's the greatest player. Now, listen, I guess a player supposed to believe that they have a certain level of greatness to attain to, but then the greatest thing I've seen from LeBron James is his longevity, but the mentality to shift teams. A lot of these older stars, established superstar players like Michael Jordan and guys like that, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, these are considered great players, right? They don't like that because they came from an era where you don't join that man. You see what I'm saying? You beat the hell out of them. You try to beat him. You do this type of stuff. You add people to your team, but you don't leave and go and join in this sort of thing. And they didn't like that. So that whole LeBron thing is, he's not better than Jordan in my debate. I don't think he's supposed to be comparing himself to Michael. Maybe go try to do the Kobe thing, man. But the Bulls are next. Bulls selection is Dalen Swain. It's another guard from the University of Texas. He's going to Bryson Graham in the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls doing some stuff here, man. The Bulls picking up some talent. They get Dalen Swain, who is a guard from that. He led the team in scoring and several other indicators. And he's going to Chi-Town. Second team All SEC. His coaches are there to kind of witness it and show him some love as he got to that next level, man. So Swain is the pickup for the Bulls as they get their second first rounder. And there you go. Remember, this is Tiago Splitter, the former head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. taking over the Chicago Bulls, and you can see Bryson Graham stepping in the door, and they adding these talented players. And the Bulls need a lot of help. So getting these two players could really help them to try to turn things around in Chicago. He was considered the newcomer of the year, Swain, from out of the SEC. And man, the brother he got a chance to go to, speaking of Jordan's team, the Chi-Town Bulls, 6'6", off guard player with explosive ability. And yeah, he got some length with him too. So yeah, Bryson Graham, man, doing some phenomenal stuff. Crazy work is we had all these men, whether it was Trajan Langdon or Bryson Graham, and the Pelicans couldn't do nothing. They couldn't even build because of the joke culture, the ownership group being in the way doing dumb stuff. But you see other teams excelling and moving. We needed the one component where we didn't have that we really needed to take us to the next level was coaching. And when I mean next level, I mean just being a serious competitive defensive team, because there was a lot of nights that we seen with the Pelicans just fall on their ass, having these leads and not having the defensive acumen and IQ to keep the lead from slipping away. You know, poor adjustments by a dumb coach, adjustments by a soft coach that at the end of the game sit up there and congratulate them and told them they holding on to the rope when they let a 20-point lead slide during the game and they lose the game by 5 or 10 points. Tell them they held on to the rope. Dumb, dysfunctional loser speak like that. I'm glad it's gone, because you can't take anybody serious about any of that stuff when they talking like that and acting like that. So getting coaching here, respectable coaching in here, to teach these players and to put a foot to ass on these players too, instead of congratulating them when they failing all the time. Some of these players need foot to ass here, and we need to. And that's what I was talking about. You can't build no tough team without putting foot to ass, because that's what the NBA gonna do. When you put your team out there, they're gonna put a foot to the ass of them people. So if you're a head coach, you got to be on that type of time. You got to be on that type of time to be able to build that thick skin on these players. So whatever these ops try to do, it won't have that type of impact. We didn't have that. We had the loser, soft, bunny ass coaches, dumb coaches running around here. And I'm glad they gone. I'm calling it like I said. Sick of all this bull. We need toughness around here. We need high IQ. None of this other stuff. All right. Timothy, what's up, my brother? He says, LaFlop James doesn't belong in the conversation with Jordan or Kobe. Yeah, I don't know too many people will be flopping around like that. I remember seeing footage where LeBron, got knocked down. He flopped down and then peeked up from up under his hands to see if they were paying attention. That's not how that go, bro. Bitching and crying about calls every night when you getting more calls than most people get. So I mean, it was just no. But he got some positive stuff, but you can't put yourself up there with MJ. It's just not gonna work. Just saying. All right, big ups to y'all, man. Hoffa says the bottom line is we don't have a center. I'm saying this first. The Pelicans have no intentions of doing anything. Joe, I'm going to sit up here there and say to the fans, he tied. I'm convinced. I don't. You know what? Remember the old saying is that if there's going to be a trade, if somebody going to be traded, so if somebody has to be, it has to be a market for you to be traded, right? For a player to want to be traded, they got to be somebody that want to accept the player, right? And if you look at Trey Murphy is probably the top player there as far as the Pelicans are concerned in terms of moving and getting assets. I said it before and I told y'all I did these broadcasts weeks after weeks. Told y'all Trey Murphy ain't going nowhere. I told y'all that he ain't going nowhere. I told you that because there's a lot of other players. If you're going to try to trade to send out that you can send out, that's not Trey Murphy. Why would I give away my best shooter and I need shooting? The only way Trey Murphy will be in the discussion is if you get a boatload of first round picks. Something like what Giannis drew from the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, from the Bucks drew from the Heat. You see what I'm saying? that type of launching pad, like they gave them like multiple 3 first round picks, second round picks, swaps, and a player, and damn near all of their bench rotation. They gave them like 4 players, 3 or 4 players. That's not bum ass players. These are good players. It's crazy. All right, Memphis is on the clock here now. They picking again. Bennett Sturts, who is a guard from Iowa. It's another little guard from Iowa. And Memphis getting a guard. So they had Cam Boozer. Now they getting a guard to kind of run the team, and they could use, and that's definitely a position of need. They need a guard. They got a few little players down there, but I can see them trying to get a guy to run the team. And this guy's a little facilitator here, tough as nails, facilitating type point guard. And he might not look like much, but he definitely a gritty little player. But this is an interesting thing about the whole thing when I'm finished talking about the situation like with Trey. The Trey thing didn't make any sense. I don't believe him saying that he wants to go. That's too convenient for him to come out and say, "Yeah, I don't want to be with the team," and then this sort of thing, and nothing become of it. Right? It. Why would I offload my best shooter and I need shooting? Who gonna shoot for me? The guy's your number one scorer. Like he ain't just some Jordan Hawkins type dude. He led the team in scoring. He's your best shooter, and as as Mosley come in, even though he talking defense, I still need shooting. I still need to be able to shoot the ball. I still need shooters. So I would not and I told you this, if Zion Williamson is still here, Trey Murphy gonna be here. Why? Because Trey Murphy is the number one benefactor of Zion Williams' gravity. Trey Murphy. He's been that guy. When Zion's in there and he's drawing double teams, triple teams, Trey gets those wide open jump shots. Now they got other guys that was on the team that were benefited by wide open jump shots. They just didn't hit them. Herb Jones was a dude that missed a bunch of wide open 3-point shots this year and last year. So I mean, it's just one of them situations where if I got to trade somebody, to me it would make sense for it to be a guy like Herb Jones. Why? Because of Sadiq Bey. Sadiq, I said this before. Herb Jones is what he's supposed to be. Sadiq Bey. I mean, that's part of the game. Like Sadiq is inside out. His defense ain't as great as Herb Jones. His defense ain't bullshit either. He's a solid defender. He just is not a defensive guy like Herb is. But that changes to me if you put a Mosley into the mix, because you're going to need you guys to score and play defense. You're going to need them to work on both sides of the floor, right? Far too often, the biggest person that's going to have to really step their defense up, it's going to have to be Zion and Trey. We're going to need both of those guys to elevate their defense on the side. Now, not just go down and score, but you're going to have to get back and play defense. And Zion Williamson, he doesn't move them damn feet. You see Zion Williamson be doing lazy man shit. He be reaching, y'all see him sticking his hand in there, doing these lazy reach around fouls because he don't want to move his feet. No, all that needs to stop. He's going to have to, he's going to be challenged as the best player on the team to elevate his side on that defense. And that's what Mosley going to call for. His thing is to teach them how to play defense, turn our teams over and score in transition, be fundamental, hit free throws, keep the turnovers down. The Pelicans, if they had that type of acumen, I think we can be very competitive. We could be a team that competes in the Western Conference if you give them a chance defensively. Because we don't have a chance in some of these games, man, to be honest with you. But it's interesting, man, to say the least. But I just didn't buy into it, to be honest with y'all, about none of this. So there it is right here. This is from Shams right here. They just saying this is Memphis is trading the number 16 pick, which is guard Bennett Sturts, to the OKC Thunder for 2 second-round pick. I mean, OKC just keeps doing whatever they do, right? They just do what they do. So Memphis is trading the pick Bennett Sturtz, who you just seen from Iowa, the point guard, played all those minutes, roughhouse player, and I guess where he going? he going, he going to come on, man, to OKC for 2 second-round picks. What is OKC up to, man? So the Grizzlies received the 17th overall pick and 2 second-round picks. The Thunder get Bennett Sturtz. And then, of course, OKC is, that's the trade. So OKC could maneuver and do all this stuff. They could pick up Mara. They could trade for Bennett Sturtz and give up the 17th overall pick and 2 second-round picks to get Bennett Sturtz as the point guard position along with Mara and call it a day. And the Pelicans sit there and watch him do it. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I thought he'd do some kind of trade. But hey, man, nothing yet. I don't know what's going on. Just y'all fill in the chat. Let me know. Hit the like button too. All right. Sim says, okay, OKC got a day because they need. Okay, hold on. I'll go a little further down here. Yeah, this is crazy work to me. Yeah, he said Slim say he was playing hopscotch. Yeah, I don't. LeBron got his role, but he can't be compared into the conversation with no Michael Jordan. That's ridiculous. All right, Nola Hitman says, so now we got a guy who has been steadily in trade talks. We might have just made a disgruntled locker room. I don't. The thing was, bro, what I was hearing too was that the Pelicans. And remember, we covered this all off season. The press conference with Joe Dumars standing up, and this was after the hiring during the Jamal Mosley hiring period. Right after the hiring period, Joe did an interview where he talked about them being a 26-win team. He said, we only won, 26 games? I'm listening to anything that come across my desk. Listening to anything that come across your desk doesn't mean that you're going to activate off of any of it that come across your desk. You're just gauging the importance from an NBA perspective of the players on your team. And if there's a knockdown, drag out deal that comes across your desk that sound good, then you would probably consider it, right? That sort of thing. Obviously, right up to this point, the Pelicans, despite all of the rumorville, haven't heard any trades that's worthy of them, because I don't think they got a Godfather deal out there, a Godfather deal for Trey Murphy, which is the Desmond Bain situation, the Rudy Gobert, even what happened with Giannis. I don't see nobody doing that, right? And here goes Silva on the board right here. He's OKC picking for whatchamacallit. And they picked Okori from Stanford, another guard. Bunch of guards coming off it. We already now, this is the 17th pick taken. We already at pick number 18. We already at pick number 18. And it's Charlotte on the clock here. So there you go. Pick number 18 is on the clock. Man. Pick number 18. No, and nothing happening right now. And I don't anticipate too much happening either, man, to be honest with you, because in terms of what we seeing from the Pelicans, some of their top rumored people are already gone. Now they do have Chris Sanak Jr. that's still available there, but we'll see what they do. The night is still not over. We still got a bunch of picks left, fam. So we'll see what we're gonna be a little patient to see what they can do. All right, what's up, Jay Black? Shout out to my boy Jay Black. Trey Murphy will be a Pel all year. Thank you, Jay Black. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you. He says no first rounders were worked out by the Pels. Okay. Yeah. I showed a graphic of that early in the show. Nola Hitman says, so now we got a guy who's been steadily in trade talks. Yeah, I just read that one. Dakari says Pels might be the worst team next year. This team is showing zero signs of trying to improve. And will there be a huge turnover, in terms of what we're seeing from will there be a large amount of turnover from what we're seeing with the Pelicans? To be honest with you, they don't have a lot of money, right? We know the Pelicans do not have a lot of money cap wise. The only way for them to improve is to move assets, whether that's players and picks to improve the team. But how much of that are we going to see? Like we do know Jordan Poole is an expiring deal. We know that there's interest in Herb Jones. Some said that some potential teams was willing to give up a late first round pick from Herb Jones, who was drafted as a second round player. Will the Pelicans be interested in that? You know, how the Pelicans going to get better? Because I know they need more length. We need uh, some length on this team, a lot more length. But I'd be surprised if the Pelicans take this team, a similar team, maybe one or two moves. We setting ourselves up thinking there's going to be a groundswell of activity. The Pelicans will trade two or three players to bring in, or something like we seeing with the Milwaukee Bucks, what they pulled, this sort of thing. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. To be honest with you, we'll see what's going on. We still got a bunch of picks remaining, fam. We got to go. We still got between 18th pick and the 30th pick in the first round. So there's still a lot of time left in the first round of this draft. So let's just see what they do. Jay Black also adds, and if we did anything for the first round, we'd have to give up half the team. Then where are you going to get players from? I don't know if you give up half your team to move in the back of the first round. I remember them. What's rumored and what's actually happened might not match. Jay Black, I see your point there. If that's indeed the case, because remember, this is when you accrue talent right here. You going into looking at fifth pick, the 58th pick, saying, "Hey, man, we're gonna get a developmental player at the back of the second round, right?" That player is not going to help you at all unless you make it a point of emphasis into the season to try to put that guy. But it's not like it's an early second round draft pick. That shit's all the way at the end of the second round. So you're going to be, whoever that guy is, he going to be in a G League. He going to be playing for the Lake Town Squadron. He going to be playing for the damn squadron. That guy ain't going to be helping you like that, man. So whatever they do, it might be facilitated. They can get in the first round. It'll be, whether it be a Jordan Poole or perhaps, a future asset that you give up. Not next year, maybe the year beyond that. We seen Milwaukee give up. Miami give up 20, 30 and all this kind of stuff. Maybe there's a future asset. But once again, it got to be motivation to move for a particular player that you're looking for. And they still need length. So, and they got the whole off season. So we'll see what the Pelicans do, man. We'll see what they do. We'll see. Oh yeah, thank you there, bro. Carlos says, hero from Wisconsin too, going home. What's up, Lou? Lou says Miles Turner would be a great fit for us. All right, thank you, bro. All right, much love on that. He says the only way the Pels can sign free agents is by making trades. That's right. They Pels don't have no money to go in and do all this other type of stuff that you would expect some teams with cap revenue to do. They don't have that. They're cap strapped right now, so the only way to improve upon it is they will have to send players out and get players in. So are there any particular players that the Pelicans like that they would be interested in making a move for to bring in? Right now, as it stands with pick number 18, Charlotte Hornets pick is in. We still have between now and picks 30. Something can happen with the Pelicans between now and then, so we just have to play the waiting game. All right, y'all smash that like button, hype the stream for me, fam. Sub up if you're not a sub. Jay Black says Meese still got a ton. He does, bro. I ain't trying to send him out of here, but I'm saying in terms of length. And I said that's opening the broadcast up. The Pelicans have a lot of talent here, fam. Let me just add this to the thought process of the Pel faithful. Could it be a situation, and y'all know it could be, where some of these players just didn't develop because the coaching staff didn't know what they was doing? Could somebody that understand with these players and teach these players the correct way could get a lot more return out of them if you got a smarter coach and a more meticulous staff? The answer is yes. Everybody thrives in a system like that. So we'll see. Charlotte Hornets on the clock. And in this selection at number 18 is Christian Anderson. He's another guard from Texas Tech. I mean, these guards are just coming up off the board, fam. They're coming up off the guard. So Christian Anderson Jr. Is the next pick right there, and he's off the clock going to Charlotte. Charlotte doing some stuff, man. Charlotte made a selection earlier in the show. What was Charlotte's previous pick? Charlotte picked at the 14th spot, and they picked up Heinz Steinbach, the big power forward. They're filling at the 4th spot, and then a couple of picks later at 18, Christian Anderson, a guard from TCU, or actually, from Texas Tech, my bad. 6'3", 180-pound from Texas Tech. Outstanding three-point shooter, savvy pick and roll navigator, polished offensively, capable of managing the game, making defenses pay from long range, comfortable with and without the ball. Guy gonna come off the bench and provide a scoring punch while LaMelo sits down. Christian Anderson can come in, maybe run that second team and keep them 3-pointers coming. So we'll see. He averaged 18 and a half points a game. And the man shot 42% from downtown, and he had over 7 assists per game, along with 3.5 rebounds. So Christian Anderson can ball, man, from Texas Tech. So we'll see what he got. Need to pick up a little weight, get a little stronger. But outside of that, smart decisions by Charlotte. Charlotte picking up some talent, man. They picked up some talent. 3-point shooting. When LaMelo sits down, them 3-point shooters, that shot keeps falling. He a fire plug shooting too. So there you go. They're bringing him there. Charlotte picking up. Remember, like I said, Charlotte won 44 games last year. They got a nice coach up there, and they're building something special, man. It's all of LaMelo. He can stay healthy, but yeah, they got something special out there in Charlotte, man. They added some help with the four position earlier with the 4, and now they had a point guard to come off the bench there to keep the 3-point shooting falling. So Charlotte making some smart moves. So is Chi-Town. So a lot of teams are doing some smart play. Next team, we got Toronto. Toronto's on the clock now, followed by the Spurs, the Pistons, and the Sixers. So we got some other teams outside of the same teams picking once again. So Toronto's up, followed by the Spurs, followed by the Pistons, followed by the Sixers. So we'll see all that going on as well. And we'll see how it goes. We're getting closer and closer to the end of that first round. All right, shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate you, man. All right. So I said, let's go Saints. All right, I'm with you, fam. All right, appreciate you. Jesse Jackson, what's up, brother? Keep hope alive. He said Pelicans moved on from Alvarado and Hart. Both have rings. Wow, yeah, that's true, brother. I seen Jose holding up the trophy the other day, brother. He said both have rings while we still trying to figure out who we will be. Our starting 5. What are we doing? Thank you, brother.
Stay cool. Nobody gets hurt. Take the money out. All of it. Come on. Wasting my time now. Come on. Stop stalling.
I appreciate that super chat, my boy. I appreciate that, man. Man, I'm just telling you, man. So there's a reported trade going on that they're talking about. What Sham's talking about. The Grizzlies moved back to 16th, moved 16th to 17th, then with the 17th to number 21, accumulating 5 second-round picks to move back 5 spots. So you can see some gymnastics, some draft chess being played by some of the teams moving around, getting talent, because there's still a lot of players on this board, man. Chris Sanock Jr. is still there. And he's shaking his head. He know he's next. You know, Toronto is going to be the call for him. That's LeBaron Falan, my bad, the guard from Alabama. It's a lot of talented guards, but I know Chris Sanock is another guy there that's still on the board. So at some point, man, A lot of good guards here. So interesting moves, man. Interesting moves that's being done here, man. I don't know, man. We just keep watching. Thank you, Jesse. Appreciate that, my brother, with that $10 super chat. Much love, bro. All right. I see. Dakar says Pels might be the worst team next year. Okay, no, I think I read that one already. Jay Black says LeBron needs to go visit his buddy. Dakar says, Q, do you think Joe might have overplayed his hand and was asking so much for Trey? I don't think he wanted to trade Trey Murphy. That's what I was saying. I said that the whole time, bro, when all the people saying, yeah, trade this, that, and third. I'm like, number one, Joe's not a dummy. He always said that it was always a Godfather package for Trey Murphy. That's how he's seen Trey Murphy as. It would be the same thing for Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson was as dominant player, like let's say if he was dominant and had reached his potential, where not only is he dominating around the rim, but he also shooting mid-range shots. At occasionally he'll shoot a three. If he had three levels to his game, so to speak, then that would be the Godfather package that you would ask for him. But Trey Murphy, that's the Godfather package. He had no intentions of moving Trey Murphy unless they gave him that package, and he knew they wasn't going to do that. I knew they wasn't going to do it. It didn't make no sense for him to trade Trey's the best shooter. Led the team in scoring last year. Didn't make any sense. And of course, there's Toronto makes the call. Is Alan Graves, the forward from Santa Clara. He'll be the selection for the Toronto Raptors. The Spurs are up next, followed by the Pistons. Spurs, then Pistons. But yeah, that's what I was saying. I never bought into none of that, man. I would never trade my best shooter, and I don't have any shooters. I mean, come on now. Where my shooters at? You know, you got Jordan Hawkins, and he played really well toward the back of last year when given minutes. So I've seen a lot of players play really well for the Pelicans when given minutes. So is it the Pelicans or you see what I'm saying? How much it's one of these situations where if you're uh, Mosley, you got to evaluate this team, bro. And I know Mosley just picked up the job. What a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it? A couple of weeks, maybe a month, less than a month that he picked up maybe a month. So see, he has to evaluate this team. So he would have to go and start, looking at these people, at the talent, and seeing what he can do. He had to study some film, and he got to evaluate and find out who can do what he needs them to do. That's the whole thing. Because like I was telling people, the Pelican squad currently constructed, they have everything you could possibly need except for length, right? We got Eves. Eves is like 6'11", 7 feet tall, right? Uh, uh, Queen is 6'9", so he's undersized big. He's kind of slow. He got that Jokic speed to him. But they're still undersized, right? Outside and shout out to DJ. He gonna tell me, Q, what about Dickerson, the G League center that's about 7'1" or something like that, 7'1", 7'2". But that he doesn't do us any good because he doesn't play. He doesn't play, and he's not a defensive center. He's not really giving us anything. But outside of those players, the Pelicans are relatively small in a division or, where you need to have length to you. So how are you going to fix that? Which players could you use and ones you can't use? And if you don't find a trade, are you going to force one? So it's kind of it requires some chess thinking because some of these players, you would have to entice a team to take them. You might have to attach some draft assets to them, some stuff like that to kind of facilitate some of these guys moving. Because right now, is now when you're supposed to see the Pelicans jump in there with a Jordan pool for a particular team, maybe add some type of compensation. They might not want to do that, but right now is the time. We're at 20. This is the Spurs. We got 10 selections left. This is where you will see the Pelicans jump in and say, okay, Chris Ament is Sanak is still available. I want that guy. Let me jump in there and go get him. What do I give up to get him? You want Herb Jones? You're right. And some people say, well, Q Herb is this, that, and the third. At some point, you can't afford everybody. If it came down between Sadiq Bey and Herb Jones, Who you gonna keep? Who you gonna keep? People will tell. I'll tell you, I'm keeping her. I'm keeping Sadiq Bey. I'm sorry. Herb is just too inconsistent offensively. Sadiq gives me offense and defense. Now, his defense is not like Herb Jones. Defense is still a solid defense. It's just Herb's a little bit better on that side of the defense than he is. But as terms of being a complete player who can give me offense and defense, man, I'm keeping Sadiq. Sadiq earned that. Plus, he's a guy that I can match up on multiple defenders. He's built, he's bulky, he's big. I can match him up on my 3s and 4s. Herb Jones still kind of scrawny. I no disrespect Herb, but look, compare the bodies to Herb ain't bulky like that. Herb still need to pick up a little weight. Still need to muscle up a little bit more. And you'll see a difference in his strength and his defense. But there's obviously a physique difference in Herb and Sadiq, not to mention the fact that Sadiq is just a better player. But if it came down to money and I had those two guys and Sadiq Bey he on the final year of his contract, and who I'm going to keep, him or her, I'm going Sadiq. Of course I'm going Sadiq because I get offense and defense out of this man. And plus, if I could flip Herb into a first round pick and give me a youngster a Chris Anock Jr. that can come in, play some center, I can use him at 4, give me some length, add length to the team, I might be able to do that. I'm just saying, because you can't keep them. You got to look at who you can keep. And it's one of these chess games you got to think about how you're going to pay. Sadiq is on the final year of his deal. He balled out last year. In many of them games, Sadiq was the best player. He took over the game. He was making big shots, whether it was inside, outside, fighting to the hoop, hitting free throws, playing defense, stealing the ball. Sadiq Bey is the guy you won't pay. No disrespect to Herb. It's just Sadiq Bey just outplayed Herb for the bag, in my opinion. You can't keep them all, man. So, that's one of the situations the Pelicans have to maybe look at. If not, then, how do you improve the team? Do you go into the season and say, well, we made two people. We got a 58 selection in the second round. We really proud to have him. That guy going to spend most of his first year on the G League playing for the squadron and sitting on the rear of the bench like you treat a Trey Alexander or a Hunter Dickinson. You go. Now listen, you had the situation where we did have like I said, a lot of these guys just not going to see time. They're not. Some of these second round, a guy that's 58 pick when they got 60 picks in the draft. He you never know. They might send his ass to Europe. I don't remember they used to send him to Europe. I don't know, man. All I know is they got to figure a way to improve. Now, Chris Anock Jr. is still sitting up here. San Antonio say the pick is in. Could he be going to San Antonio to add some more length to their team? And they can need something. They had it basically running 4-guard lineup. San Antonio, they had Wemby out there and 4 guards basically. So if you can get a Sadak there to maybe play 4, add some length, or something, maybe coming off the bench. Who was their backup center last year? That big clumsy ass dude used to play for New York. He's 7-footer. He's sorry. He wore black socks, like with his gray shoes. That sorry ass center. Cornette, that's his name. Luke Cornette. His sorry ass. The bottom line is, you need length as a Pelican, and we ain't got money to get it. You got to make trades, the best viability. Y'all get the point. All right, Jay Black says, talk of trade is from the Talking Heads. Indeed, that's why it's just selling or getting you to read newspaper articles, man, or selections and things. That's all that was, man. And here go Commissioner Silva announcing the pick is Jaden Quadance. Quadance from Kentucky. That's the forward there, so they pick him up there. So there you go, 6'9", 253-pound bully, shot blocker in the paint from Kentucky. This is a guy that did all the dirty work. So that's a good call for San Antonio to get him, because that's one of the things that they missing. They missing a paint bully like this man. Fights and gets his work underneath. You don't run plays for this man. You don't run plays for him. He cleans up the paint. He gets his points there. He does his battling inside. So getting Jaden Quanitz, that was an actual asylum move by San Antonio because it gives them some strength and bully inside that paint. Where Wembyama is kind of he a little soft. So to add a little strength there, that's actually a pretty good idea. So we got 20. We had pick 21 right now in the first round. 30 picks in day one. We had pick number 21. Detroit, Philly, Atlanta are the next three teams up at the podium. We'll see how it looks. All right, Super Shiv says, do you think even though the reporters say otherwise, we pivot to bring in Ja to team up with Zion? I don't think so, my brother. And I'm gonna tell you why. The money don't make sense for the Pelicans to do it. Now, even though if they sent DeJounte Murray out and bring in John Morant, that contract, bro, the next couple of years, the contract is ridiculous. And the Pelicans are afraid of his injury history, and then the reality is uh, when I used to talk about the John Morant trades, because this is nothing new. This is regurgitating this story. This story has been regurgitated over and over again. Just the latest incarnation of it is that I just didn't think John Morant's a good fit for the Pelicans, not because of his talent. He got superstar talent when healthy. The issue with John Morant is that discipline side of things. I don't know if I want to pair him and Zion Williamson up. We just 1 year removed from a Zion off field issue with some other broad. He Zion with these IG strumpets that's running around. I mean, that'd be ridiculous for him. You know what I'm saying? These strumpets, all these IG strumpets running around here. And Zion like him old. Yeah, he guns and strumpets, man. That sounds like a old school movie right there. We don't need the guns or the strumpets. We don't need none of that. But seriously, I just think it's just the Pelicans were afraid of bringing John Moran in that contract. Of course, you could send DeJounte Murray a match package, whatever, throw him in, and another fill-in player, maybe a Jordan Hawkins to go along with it to facilitate a trade to get him. But then getting him to stay healthy, dealing with his contract. And then the biggest caveat is the fact that the Pelicans do not want John Morant to stifle the developed timeline of Jeremiah Fears. Jeremiah Fears is on a runway to become a starting point guard for the Pelicans in the near future. And his timeline has been expedited. He played every game last year for the Pelicans. You want to talk about a player that is developing at a rate. And I don't know if you guys seen any of the images or pictures that God Shamgod is working with him. And there's images he's showing him and God Shamgod working on dribbling drills, him getting stronger. You see what I'm saying? Y'all, we got a future star in Jeremiah Fears. This guy is going to be phenomenal for us, man. I ain't gonna put all that stuff on him to tell you might have the next Allen Iverson / Kyrie. I ain't putting all that on him. That's Jeremiah Fears. He can get wherever he want on the court when he want. You heard Antonio Daniels talk about it. He can level. He can shift it up, shift up, shift down. He can gear it up, gear it down. He getting better shooting the 3-pointer. He getting stronger. Passing the ball, seeing the floor. You don't want to bring John Moran in to disrupt that maturation process, so to speak, because they see him. You don't give a top 10 selection for Fears and don't groom him to be the future point guard of your team. They believe that John Morant might stifle that launch pad, that lunch point. So with all those things I said, man, that's some of the stuff that I would kind of steer clear of the John Morant thing. Now, if you grab John Morant, if it's the Pelicans, that'd be like more on the desperation side, because the Pelicans aren't in a position currently constructed to attract superstar talent. So how else would you accrue it? That's what the pro John Morant contingent like DC, who called me on the phone and told me, "Hey, well, why not take him?" And if you would have issues with that philosophy if dealing with I think he stifles Fears' timeline. And the fact is, this guy, if you bring John Moran in here, it's not Fears' team. Like he has what? How many? 2 or 3 years remaining on his contract. So you basically push Fears back for that. And like I said, I don't think Joe Dumars wants to do that because Fears is showing him that that he's on level. He's on that incline organically to get to where they see him as. And you see him play 82 games last year. You seen Fears play what, 80 something games, 81. So both of our first round draft picks played a ton of minutes in development. And you see Fears in off season hitting the weights, working on his building up his win and his stamina, this sort of stuff, getting stronger. This sort of thing. So anyway, we see a selection. Detroit's on the clock now, fam. Thank you for that question, bro. Appreciate you. All right, Silver's announcing it. Detroit's takes Kareem Lopez from New Mexico. Man, this kid here has phenomenal game to him as well. And Detroit picks him. That's Trajan Langdon. Trajan Langdon gets his pick. He gets a forward and Kareem Lopez from Mexico. So that's big for him, man, to get him there and get this young player in. The player he could play, man. He got a gritty game to him, man. But Trajan Langdon building the team. Detroit was a 60-win club last year, so you're seeing teams making moves, building these teams up over the next couple of years. With the Pelicans, excuse, what we gonna do now? That's 21st pick. We have the 22nd pick coming up. The 76ers, followed by the Atlanta Hawks, are on the clock right now. 30 picks in the first round. We're at pick number 21 currently. All right. Thank you, Super TV. Is that what your name is, bro? Super Shiv. Thank you, brother. All right. Carlos says, as the Pelicans turn, as the Pelicans turn, so proper. You said it, Q talking head. Yeah, I don't, and I always try to caution the family members when they listen to PPR to some of this crap that we be hearing. These people, they just be trying to get you to read some of the articles and stuff like that. And that's why I was saying, fam, we read a lot of the articles and stuff like that, but a lot of these people you can't even, they don't have a comment section. I just don't like that. I think that's kind of illegitimate if you ask me, because if you're going to write articles about the Faithfuls team, allow them to be able to comment in the comment section to the writer and give game. They just want you to just read what they wrote, and then you don't have nothing. You can't get them straight in the comment section. You turn the comment section off. That's what they be doing. So they'll spit this shit out here and talk real sassy and hot about the team, and you can't light their ass up in the comment section. You can't say nothing. You see what I'm saying? They got the comment section turned off. And when you read a lot of these articles, some do, some don't, man. But I like to read the ones that have the comment section so you can reply with the reporters. Some of these reporters don't ever reply back. They read the comments. Some of them need to be going back in the comment section, replying to people, letting them know, man. Because a lot of these people writing these articles are not supporters of the team. They're doing it for a check. That's a big difference. And a dude writing an article, and he writing, and then the game is he writing articles for 3 to 4 teams. He writing for 2 to 3 other teams. Right, with the comment section turn, so you dropping articles. You're not even, these people not even studying the Pelicans like that. They just throwing shit. They got one dude on there, just all he do is just rank down on Joe Dumars them without saying anything small. Oh, this was a bad idea. This was a bad idea. The Pelicans about to be set up for a losing season. He just writing all this foolishness, and this asshole ain't even a supporter of the team. He ain't even studying the team. He ain't even studying the team. They don't know nothing about the team. All he know is the national spiel. And that's the problem. Like, you don't know the intricacies of some of this stuff that be going on with the team because they don't know the players, they don't know the personalities, they don't be studying the team. We generalize, it's a specific focal point that we deal with. This is the Pelican post-game report. This ain't the Bulls post-game report or the Grizzlies post. This is Pelican post-game report. Meaning we know our team. We talk about our team. We talk about the culture surrounding the team, and the mentality of the team. These people don't know that. All they writing, and they do this stat prattling thing where they mention a bunch of analytics. Don't mean a hill of beans if you're watching the game most times. The numbers don't always tell you the story of the game. They don't sometimes. They don't. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But shouldn't you know when they do and they don't? Only way you would know that is if you watch every game in which they don't. They don't watch every game. They don't. They miss games. So I mean, the point of what I'm saying is at the end of the day, a lot of this is an attempt to just drive you just to read for the advertisements purpose. Unfortunately, that's a part of the game. I'm just keeping it real with y'all on that. Just telling y'all honest truth, God honest truth. Carlos says Herb defense took that. It did, bro, because he hurt. That's the whole thing about Herb Jones. 76 is on the clock with the 22nd pick, 26 seconds remaining. LeBaron Philon Jr. from Alabama, the guard, is the top selected, best available according to ESPN. Chris Sanak Jr. from Houston is up there. Cam Carr from Baylor. Isaiah Evans from Duke, the guard, is up there. That's top 4 players that they're looking at. Where did the 76ers go? What do the Sixers need, man? The Sixers kind of fell off the fence last year, and what did they do? A lot of people think it might be LeBaron Philon. But like I said, man, at the end of the day, it's Herb Jones been banged up the last couple of years. That's hurt his development. That's all I'm saying. Okay, if Herb Jones, bulk up and get stronger, would that help his durability? Would that help his durability? I don't know. But we haven't seen bulking up of several Pelican players. Jordan Hawkins still looks like he came out of college. He hadn't picked up any considerable weight. He still looks pretty thin and frail, so you've been in the league for 3 years. I think it's 3 years going into his 4th year. Pelicans picked up that option at $7 million. At some point, the body, you got to be able to develop in a way where you're strong enough to be able to finish through players if you need to. And we've seen times where he'll go to the basket, a guy would just rake him down with his hand. He'll just smash down on him and just upset his whole little shot. So that's a part of the game, like the commitment aspect outside of the game, like they mandating you to come in and do this type of stuff. But being the first guy and the last guy to lead a building, we should see something there. If that is the commitment, if that's what you're doing. Some players don't have that commitment, some do. But for the Pelicans to turn all this around, some of the top players on the team have to have that commitment. The first man in, last man leave type situation. Like, to the point, I put a lot of power down on Zion Williamson because he's too one dimensional. All he want to do is go into the paint. He don't want to shoot no mid-range shots. He don't want to try no three-pointers. He don't want to develop none of that ass. It's just easy for him to take that $40 million and just try to beat you up and finish over you in the paint and fall out and crash down 7 times a damn game, trying to finish over 2 and 3 men. So it's just, that's the aspect of it. LeBaron Philon Jr. is now, he's going to Philly. That's an interesting pickup right there. That guy could play too. Great guards, a lot of solid guards in this draft. He going up there. Tyrese Maxey and the rest of them. As Philly trying to add some shooting to its fray. Atlanta next up, 23, followed by the champion New York Knickerbockers at 24th pick. 30 picks total at pick number 23 as LeBaron Philon was picked up at 22 by the Sixers, AP third team All-American. But we paying LeBron, not about to say LeBron, Zion Williamson $40 million a year, and Zion, all he can do is finish at the rim. He don't have no mid-range shot and don't even dream of shooting threes. He done totally turned all that shit off. What part of the game is that? What part of the game is that? I mean, I just don't understand that, man. I don't get that part of it. I don't get that part of it. Even all these guys, they compare that man to. They talk about some of the greatest power forwards in the game. All them men had mid-range shots. All of them. And the thing I keep talking about the mid-range Zion game because that opens up everything. You don't have to get hurt and fall on your ass 1,000 times in the game because all you doing is trying to dunk a finish over or through 2 and 3 people because they form a wall at the hoop because they know that you're not going to take the shot and they're giving you 5 feet room. They giving a man 5 feet of room. They backing up while he's standing still because they know what he going to do. All I'm saying is If they giving you that kind of rum, if you adjust your game and learn and work on and master that mid-range shot, that would change the game for him. Because if they backing up off of him and they 4 or 5 feet away from him, daring him to shoot the ball, complete your mid-range game, shoot that effing ball, hit that shot, and draw them people to you, and then go around them if you need to. That opens up everything for your game. Then it builds confidence for him to start shooting the 3 ball. If he mastering the mid-range shot and hitting that mid-range shot, and I ain't talking about no float, I'm talking about an actual shot. Like he taking a shot. If he developed his game like that, boy, I would be ecstatic. I would be just lit up with excitement if I seen Zion Williamson mid-range shot be so bad it's like some David West type shit. You remember David West, y'all? That's one of the best shooting forwards we ever had down here. David West would shoot the piss out that mid-range shot. He even got good enough to start shooting them threes. If we had a David West type uh, mid-range game from Zion Williamson, that builds that confidence from to start hitting that 3-point shot. That opens up all the levels of his game. He don't have to live at the rim, falling down, crashing down on the floor, getting hurt. I just think at some point somebody got to challenge him. Man been in the league for 8 years and nobody challenged him on that. What dumbass coach we know, Willie Green, this other idiot, this soft ass punk we had here last year, all these people, and then instead of kissing their ass and I just want to hug on and love on the players and not challenge them to change their games. What part of the game is that, man? You know, the main thing is we're about winning here. And if you're talking about building a family, you build a family, you win, you get here, you work your ass off, and y'all uh build substance and become a family through trials and tribulations and winning. That's how you do it, not in all this excessive losing because nobody want to take accountability for their actions. Somebody got to call Zion out if he go on that bullshit with them strumpets. Somebody got to be on his back for that. And too many, how we got one of the best shooters in the NBA, but we got a guy that don't even know how to shoot a fucking mid-range shot. I thought Trey's your buddy. Can't Trey teach you how to shoot that shot? Even I'm saying as the best player on the team, the superstar, this stuff has to happen. It got to happen, man. It got to happen if we're gonna have that type of success. I'm gonna move on from that point, but I'm just making y'all aware of it. All right, Hopper said name 3 things in 2 years the Pelicans have done roster wise to win. Q. I mean, they've done a decent job of drafting. The whole thing about the Pelicans is when it comes to building a culture of winning, they failed on that. So they have all these first round picks that they accumulated. They got Zion. When healthy, he's a dynamo. You picked up Trey Murphy, they didn't whiff on that. Herb Jones, they didn't mess up on that. And there are other players. Yves Messi is a solid pick, right? He's a solid pick. Peavy's a solid pick. Them getting Najee Marshall, them getting Herb Jones. I mean, not Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado, so on and so forth. They brought in the players, they developed the players, but where they failed at was a consistent culture of building a winning, consistent culture. They failed that because they lacked accountability. That's one of the main reasons why the Pelicans fail constantly over and over again. They failed because they lacked accountability to hold feet to fire and foot to ass. I keep telling you the same thing. Foot to fire, feet to fire, and foot to ass. That's how you build a consistent winning culture. That's how it go, bro. And we have not seen that consistently from the Pelicans. A couple of years ago, they did something, they did good, but then they fall off the cliff and get 21 wins and then 25 wins and less than 50 wins in 2 years. The coach gets fired because they lack serious amounts of accountability. They did bring in some good players. Getting Jordan Hawkins, bringing him in here was a good pick because you needed shooting. He was the best shooter in the draft. He was coming off a national championship. It was a good selection. Where the Pelicans failed at, they did not develop him. They did not have a plan to bring him along so that he can help Trey Murphy, because the idea was to have Trey Murphy Zion Williamson. They have Trey Murphy with Zion and Jordan Hawkins on the court at the same time, taking advantage of the gravity that Zion Williamson have. You had your best shooters. You had him, Hawkins, and you're supposed to have Trey Murphy III. They was good in concept, but it was poor in execution, and that's why they fail over and over again. They could never develop a consistent, cohesive success culture around these players. They lacked accountability. They had dumb coaches, soft ass punk coaches, and that just breeded the whole environment of losers. It's just ridiculous. The Hawks pick up the St. John center. He's an undersized center, but Big East Player of the Year, Zuby Ejiofor, I think his name is Ejiofor. Probably butchered the hell out of that, but that's what the Hawks got. They got a undersized center. He won the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award for the top center in the country. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks a game. So there you go. From St. John's, is it? Yeah. Well, they got a baller, man. He had undersized, but Hawks got them another player, man. But they got Aquanu there too, so he an undersized center. It's almost in the same mold. New York's on the clock next. Now the champion Knickerbockers on the clock, followed by the Lakers and the Denver McNuggets. So that's the next 3 teams, 24, 25, and 26. We got 30 picks in the draft. We can safely say that the Pelicans are not going to do a damn thing in this draft. Yeah. And they're saying New York is trading its 24th pick to the Lakers for the number 20. So New York, according to Sham Charania, this just happened 15 seconds ago. New York is trading the number 24th pick to the Lakers for the number 25th pick. So swatching picks. So the Knicks, man, shout out to the Knicks, man. They did some powerful stuff, man. Won that championship. All right, thank you, Hoffa. Shout out to you, man. All right, Decorah says, Q, have you seen the Grizzlies just made another trade with the Pistons? No, is that earlier in the day, my brother? Yeah, earlier in the day. Everybody making moves except for us, man. Everybody making moves. Mad Drummer, what's up, bro? Do you really want to draft somebody, or should y'all wait until next season? The Pelicans need help. You improve the team through free agency and through the draft. That's the 2 ways the team can do it. And according to what we got, the Pelicans, do they have assets worthy of acquiring a back of the first round? I think so, but then again, maybe there's not a deal that Joe Dumars, Troy Weaver, or the rest of them want. They just standing pat, letting it happen. So, all right, Hoff says, Q, can you tell me the 3? Okay, I already answered that one. Thank you. All right. Carlos says Guillory said it too. It was all a lie. Yeah, it was just outside people just speaking crap. Marley Moss says, Q, is it a Godfather package for Herb too? I don't think it's a Godfather pack. Only for Trey Murphy, the Godfather package. For Herb Jones, I don't think it's a Godfather package. But it still have to be an attractive package nonetheless. Yeah, Graves used to be at LSU. I remember that, Carlo. Jordan said, damn, he went to OKC. All right. Margion says, F the Pelicans. He tired of the Pels. All right. Dan says, y'all let me know what we done with all what we got from here. That's all gone, brother. That's all gone. That's all gone. That's why old boy got his ass fired. David Griffin. When he first came in here, man was here for like 7 years, almost 8 years. When he first came in, he was here about 7 years. When he first came in here, he had all that draft capital from that Anthony Davis trade. Remember Anthony Davis in a recent interview, we covered this on PPR, said he asked David Griffin to take Ja Morant because they had him, AD, and Drew Holiday. And he said, if you take Ja Morant, I would stay. And according to him, David Griffin told him, I can't take Ja Morant. I got to take Zion. So when he took Zion Williamson, AD said, nah, you can go ahead on and trade me. He had no interest to play with Zion Williams because he said the fit didn't work. He didn't see how the fit was going to work. They have an undersized big and him playing center because he foreseen himself playing center, and he didn't want to play center. That's the thing about AD that he hates playing center. Like maybe small ball center in lineups during games every now and again, but to be just the center all the time, he didn't. He never wanted to do that, and he said it wasn't a fit. But like I said, man, one of these situations, man, where it's they got nothing out of it, man. Nothing out of it. No winning, nothing. Because all those assets used that happened right around the same time. OKC, Minnesota, and I want to say San Antonio started building their sales back up again. Well, you see Minnesota where they were at last year. You see where OKC ended up last year, and you see where San Antonio ended up. So all the teams they started around the same time, and the Pelicans won less than 50 games in 2 years. So something went bad. What went bad is you got joke ownership. Last year she ain't know what the hell she was doing. She was getting away with the team. She did that with the Saints. When Dennis Allen was here, we had to get on her then, and she fired them. We had to get on her about Willie Green until she fired them, but she messed the season up because she fired them late. That's why they had a delayed response in this. Is Cam Carr as the Knicks take Cam Carr as their as the pick. Remember the Lakers and the Knicks switch picks, so we'll see what the Lakers do. All right, so yeah, it's just one of the things we don't know. The only two ways they can improve the team is through free agency. Still making trades now. Just because they might not make a trade tonight, they're still, we get into the off season. They'll be still able to make trades throughout the season to see if any particular players fit or if there'll be a tweaking here or there of the team or whoever they're targeting. This sort of thing. It's still time. Maybe not in terms of the draft. We got maybe 6 picks left before we hit pick 30. If they're going to do something, so we're going to pay attention to see if they make any moves tonight. But it doesn't look like it to me. 992 says, "Oh, we screwed up all the picks we got since AD. We traded too many away for win 9. That's why the Pels are thin at the situation." Indeed, indeed. They screwed it all up. They junked it away. And the part about it is like what killed David Griffin's job here is the fact that um, the the whole situation involved with the head coaches. Like you had Stan Van Gundy, who was a respected coach. They gave Stan Van 1 year. Brandon Ingram got him out of here, and he got 1 year. They had to fire Stan after 1 year. And I would prefer to have Stan Van Gundy to have Willie Green because after they fired Stan Van Gundy, the leadership didn't want to open the books up to pay for another expensive coach. So they had to settle with Stan, and then they had to pay a cheap coach named Willie Green. And that's what he worked. He had to take all of the remaining staff because the Pelicans did not want to. They did not want to get rid of the assistant coaches, like get rid of their contracts and hire new coaches. They didn't want to do that. So what they did was they said, whoever the new coach is, you will have to accept the job and take these coaches with you. They literally did that. So Jock Vaughn, who was interviewed for the job, said no to that. They was trying to interview Mosley that year, but he didn't interview. He was supposed to interview with them after he came back from Orlando. But guess what? He never came back from Orlando. When he went out there, Orlando signed him. And that's how they ended up with him. Jack Vaughn turned him down. And then when Willie Green came along, because Charles Lee, the coach from who's now the coach of Charlotte, he also was rumored to be interested in, but a lot of coaches shied away from it because of the ridiculous stuff David Griffin wanted him to do. He wanted to have the man to take all of the previous coaches' assistant coaches. Who gonna do that? Who does that? Now, if you take half like he did this year, like half of them, that's different than you taking an entire coach's assistant coach. That's crazy. But that's what they did, fam. That's what the hell they did. So, yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke. How shit was ran, it was a joke. It was a comedy show. So at some point, after messing up and making all the making all the mistakes they possibly could make, hiring the wrong coaches, hiring the wrong people, hiring the wrong administrator, hiring the wrong medical staff, all this kind of stuff. You eventually get to Joe. You eventually get to Mosley. And Joe's serious about winning, so is Mosley. So you got a two parent and the identities sync. That's something that we didn't have before. Willie Green and the other guy, they philosophies didn't sync. They didn't sync. But you got Joe saying I want a gritty team, and that's what Mosley does. He a defensive first guy that teaches gritty defensive principles. So we got a winning pair here. So how do you improve the team through trades and whatever? We'll see how they do it, man. We'll see. We'll see. But in terms of what I see, if the Pelicans add some more length and maybe another shooter some kind of way, that might be it. Maybe a couple of moves here might be enough going into the season. They might feel like they got enough talent here to compete. I have no idea, man. We'll see how it goes. All right. Let's see. He says Baba Miller at 58 would be a great. I don't know if he makes it that far down there, bro. We'll see. All right, Jose Herb need to get a mean streak in him. Well, Herb used to be a dog until he got domesticated under David Griffin. I was telling people that a couple years ago. Herb don't even play the same way he used to play. Michael says, "What will we do about the center position?" Eve Misi, Carlo Mekovic. They got. I think there's an option on Carlo. I think the Saints will pick it up. I mean, the Pelicans. Excuse me, will probably pick up the option. You know, like I said, the Pelicans have a good team. I don't foresee them making two or three, bunch of different trades. I can maybe see them get a center some kind of way and maybe a trade, one or two trades here with the team, to do it because a healthy DeJounte Murray, he scored 17 points a game in the little games that he played. DeJounte could still give you something, right? He still can give you something. They need to find out, who the five is going to be, the starting five, and they need a cohesive bench unit to come off the bench and help. That's something we didn't have last year. We didn't have we just didn't have a real coaching staff to get the most out of this team. These guys were bums and idiots we had for the last. No disrespect, but maybe it sounds like disrespect, but I gotta call it like it is. We had incompetent boobs, big nose, soft punks running around here, messing up and stealing money from the Pelicans. And I'm just glad they're gone, man. I'm just glad they're gone, man. Cotton candy, tree hugging ass motherfuckers here. That's what we had here, and I'm just glad them gone. I want tough minded, gritty minded, resilient people here building the culture and the mindset to mirror the region in which we live. We don't live in cotton candy land. We live in the region, the Gulf Coast region, where they got hurricanes and storms and floods and 105-degree heat and every damn thing. That's not cotton candy land. We supposed to be tough and resilient. That's what our team's supposed to be mirroring, not this punk stuff this other clown was talking about last year. We ain't on that, man. Glad them guys is on, man. I was said that pissed me off about it, with these clowns and all that bull that they was spewing out, man, about the team. That's why the team played like that. Draymond Green and all these dudes calling the Pelicans soft, saying they're not ready for nothing, and was telling them that, and them dudes wasn't even getting mad. Where they do that at? Where they do that telling them they soft and they didn't even get mad? We'll rough them up in the games to throw them off their games and beat them. Where they do that at? So, and then the dumb coach sit up there and put up with it. Fold with his arms folded. Picking his nose. I mean, it's crazy. Michael says, I have a feeling they will. Thank you. 504 Coach says their nickname will be Strippers and Guns. All right, Guns and Strumpets. Yeah. I told y'all that what it'll be. If you bring John Morant here and Zion Williamson playing together, you might as well start a reality show called Guns and Strumpets, because that's what it's going to be like. That'll be a complete catastrophe. Guns and Strumpets. That's something, boy. We be, boy, no sirree. You can keep all that, brother. Guns and Strumpets. All right, drummer says 50 ain't getting no good player there. We might find somebody there, bro. We might find somebody there. Sergio Delaria, the Spanish ACB Best Player of the Year, picked up by the Lakers. So you got a shooter there that they bringing in here. So the pick number 25 for the Lakers reported that'll be traded to the New York Knickerbockers, according to that. So 98992 says this year's draft is all about guards and forwards. All right. V Malian 117 says DJ move to two guard if we get Ja. All right. Mad Drummer says ON 82 loading. All right. All right. Mr. Hennessy, what's up? My brother says, think about treasure chests. The treasure chest of picks we had traded away. Yeah, I know, bro. I know not just Anthony Davis, but Drew Holiday too. Drew Holiday had a little haul with him too. And it just didn't do it, man. And let's finish up on the point about David Griffin hiring. Once he hired Willie Green, Willie Green did not develop. Like we were looking for Willie Green to make a step. Like you seen Mosley made a step. Like he went from the team losing and building them into a winner. Then they went consistent winner, and then they made the playoffs like consistently, like what, 3 years in a row. And I mean, they were actually like, one of the top teams out there competing in the East. You start seeing like what happened with Charles Lee, with Charles Lee in Charlotte. They went from losing games to building games, and they won 44 games. Like you start seeing the success, and then that means that the philosophy is in place. And then the crazy part is, as coaches' contracts expired, Teaspoon and others, that they let go. Coach Fred, the shooting coach, he was let go, and then Willie brung his own people in here. It got worse because Willie Green is not a head coach. He's a terrible head coach. He's terrible. He has no feel for the game. He doesn't know when to adjust. He don't know his offense. It just was ridiculous. And then Borrego was even stupider than he was. I thought that Borrego had more sense. That he won four more games than he did, but you had the team for 70 games, and you was the offensive coordinator of the team for 3 years prior to that. 2-3 years prior to that. So when you step in there, you already know this talent. You should have been able to hit the ground running. No, sir. Couldn't do it. So that's what I'm saying. You got talent on the team, but that don't mean nothing if you don't have the coach that can put an organized plan together that they respect and hold them to the tree of accountability. If you can't do that, then you wasting your time. And that's what the Pelicans been doing. That's why we don't have the type of success. That's why we won less than 50 games in 2 years. That's why people don't respect the Pelicans. That's why Joe Dumars is here. Joe Dumars says, listen, this is my second year here. I got the coach that I want. Watch me work. So the least I can do is give Joe Dumars the same respect and time that we gave that other idiot we had before him. They set up there and kept him here for what, 7 years? Man, I gotta give him the same time frame. He actually got his coach. So he's saying, watch me work. So we'll see what they got going on, man. We'll see. Thank you, brother. David Nola said that pick is Memphis, not Detroit. Okay, thank you for the correction, bro. All right, let me see. Mr. Hennessy says NBA reporters make up rumors leading to the draft simply to drive up ratings. Yeah, I remember they was doing that with what's your boy named Scoot Henderson. Y'all remember that? The Scoot Henderson stuff? I was saying that, and all these people were saying that this is going to happen, this going to happen. I said, while that was going on, I said, y'all, that's a lie. That ain't happening. Sham Charania was the number one dude beating that drum. But Wendy wouldn't buy into it. Hurst wouldn't buy into it. And Adrian Wojnarowski, who was running it at that time, wasn't buying it either. He didn't say nothing about it. He was silent. But Sham Charania was beating out. I was like, that's a lie. These people literally lying for scoops. There's no information. None of that is valid, verified. None of that. Pelicans ain't gonna trade no Zion Williamson from no Scoot Henderson. That's stupid. I was saying it at the time. I thought I was saying that they were lying. I was calling them liars. And it never materialized. So yeah, they be lying all the time. You could actually tell when they're lying too. All right, Slim said the Pels should have made Trajan Langdon our GM. We already had their replacement in Bill. Yeah, he was the general manager. Trajan Langdon was the general manager. Griffin was the VP. Trajan was the general manager. But he would. That's why I nicknamed him the Octopus, because he would micromanage them people. That's why they got up out of here. That's why Trajan left. And look what Trajan's doing with Detroit. He was the general manager. You had that micromanaging idiot David Griffin here tearing up the team. Just calling it like I see it, man. Just calling it like I see it. All right, yes. Yeah, Tom Benson was trying to just turn a profit. He wasn't trying to win nothing. Zion's the one we need to trade. No, there's no market for him, bro. Jordan says that damn piano. Yes, y'all remember that piano? That was weird, bro. Dude was mad, cringy. Foul Foco says Hawk need a change of scenery. Willie ruined the dude. Yeah, but Willie been gone. He looked good at the end of the season, man. Do they see a future for him? Yeah, David West was cold with that mid range game. That's what they boy need to start shots. You need to start studying that film. If Zion Williamson had a David West mid range shot, bro, he would be unstoppable. He would be unstoppable. That's all I want him to do is get a mid range shot. All right. Lakers says give kid the job. The job for what, bro? What job? You talking about the head coach job? Hennessy, Mr. Hennessy, what's up, bro? Says running it back means enough dummies already re-upped the season tickets. All right. What's up, Lonnie? Shout out to Lonnie. All right. Steph, what's up, Steph? Shout out to Steph. All right. Seventh, New Orleans says New Orleans Hornets did go hard, and so did the do it big Pelicans. Was a great era with Boogie. Yep, Boogie and AD. I wish that Boogie didn't get hurt. Me too. Yeah, I agree, bro. We would have won. Yeah, bro. We was on pace to do something special with Boogie Cousins and AD. Dale Demps ruined it. He ruined it. The Denver Nuggets on the clock at 26. Terrence Reed Jr., center from UConn, is the pick for the Nuggets. They got Boston followed by Minnesota, the next two picks. We got 4 picks to the actually 3 more picks now to the end of the draft, or 4 picks rather to the end of the draft. Well, it don't look like the Pelicans going to do something. What's up, Lex? Shout out to Lex. Just hurry up and wait. That's right. That's right, girl. Hurry up and wait. That was Lex. Someone had to put that on the shirt because that's facts. We definitely need help on the roster. Yeah, hurry up and wait. That's right, Lex. All right, Sean, what's up? My brother says, if you trade Zion, what do you think we can get for him? I don't think we can get much for Zion. Nobody wants him. You know what's crazy, bro? Is that this Ja Morant, like he at some point, he's going to be healthy for the for the Memphis Grizzlies, right? They didn't trade him. Nobody wants him. The Sacramento Kings were rumored to be looking at him, but then they said, you know what? No, we're going to chill because I think we can get Acuff Jr., in which they did with the 6th overall pick, if I'm not mistaken. The Pelicans then said, you know what? We're good. We're good. So what we're going to do is we're going to just stay with our plan to develop uh, Jeremiah Fears. So we don't need that. So they both backed off of him. There was no any other teams interested in him. Miami can't get him because they don't have a package to trade for him. You see what I'm saying? So the way I look at it is he stays in Memphis. He gets healthy, so he'll play with a chip on his shoulder. So he's still very dangerous, right? He still will be in Memphis. They didn't release him on that, so he's still in Memphis. He's still under contract. But the Zion thing is a similar thing too. Zion has so much baggage attached to him that happened over the last several years with Strippergate and Strumpet and all this stuff going on. All this stuff was just horrible. Plus the injuries. He finally got healthy last year to play, but people are like, okay, that was good. Show me again. But then when you really break Zion's game down, Zion is not like he a one-way weapon. He only do dirt. He only do power dirt to teams on around the rim. He don't have nothing else. He don't have a mid-range shot. He can't shoot a 3-pointer. So it's like, yeah, that's like he's not like on a level of some of these other players. Like you could put up Giannis or Jalen Brown or these superstar players. Like they take it to the level that very few could reach. Like there's only a handful of guys in the NFL. I mean, in the NBA that can take it to that superstar level. And Zion Williamson, even though he might have the potential and everything, if he just worked the right way, he can reach that level. He don't. So my question is, does he love it like they love it? Because in order to be great, you got to love it. Remember what Kobe Bryant used to say? And I'm not comparing them, but just mentality to see where a Kobe Bryant was in terms of his work ethic and his mindset about being great. That's what drove him. It wasn't even about the money. Everything was straight on that end. But in just about legacy and being great and championships. That man ain't on that. That man ain't on that, man, at all. That man he gonna be making $40 million this year for the Pelicans. And people's just now saying, okay, he getting it. He really now starting to really the last year or two, really starting to work into his all field work ethic and getting stronger and working out and controlling his eating because the contract kind of was taking his money away. So he had to figure out a way. He had to put a food clause. My goodness. So what I'm saying is you gotta really want that, man. Somebody can't tell you that, dog. You gotta really want that. All these little trips to China and all that shit you was doing in the summer for Nike. Like you know what? I appreciate y'all. I can't do that. I'm all about the business. I gotta get this work on. That type of business. You see what I'm saying? I'm in my gym game. Now I've been seeing some off court stuff from him recently with him working out well. But he got to be on that extra level because he reaching what is he in his 8th year now? Zion in his 8th year, making $40 million. Bro, you got to show us something, dog. You got to show us something. Now, last year was cool, but can you build on that and go beyond that? That's the whole point I'm saying on the whole Zion Williamson thing. There's not a market for Zion Williamson. As crazy as that sound, man, ain't no market for that man right now, bro. Not one that you're going to get anything for. It is what it is. But Boston is 27th pick. The pick is in. We got Boston, Minnesota, and then Cleveland before the 30th pick, which is the final pick. Mad Drummer said nobody's going to get a Pels fans this year. Nobody's going to Pels fans this year. And if they trade, what you say, Trey, hell is going to be worse unless they ain't trading Trey and get all-star caliber players back. Plus, you're drafting a player that's going to be a G League relevant at best. Yeah, I think we'll see how it all works. But right now, Chris Christian Jr. is off the board. Boston gets him. This was a player that's from New Orleans that the Pelicans were rumored to want. He went at the back of the first round of the draft at 27 to the Boston Celtics. He is, this man went to Newman. This guy was a talented player, and he's now a Boston Celtic. Interesting. Pels ain't got nothing right now. All right, let's see what else we got here. Pels Hornets have only 3 coaches. None of them were when they became the Pels. Sam Clark says, sad they haven't done anything. Go Pels. RJ says, yes, that was another one. Taking Kyra Lewis Jr. over Maxey still doesn't sit well with me. Yes, indeed. And let me give you another caveat to it. Put one in the chat if you knew this, that Stan Van Gundy wasn't even involved in the selecting of Kyra Lewis Jr. Did you know that? Put one in the chat if you knew that. Put one in the chat if you knew that. He wasn't even involved in the pick. When they selected Kyra Lewis Jr., he was drafted by David Griffin. Stan Van Gundy said it in the press conference when they asked about, what's your thought process on taking Kyra Lewis Jr. Well, I take the pick. I wasn't nowhere involved. And he started talking about he got PTSD from drafting the players that he drafted when he was the president of the Detroit Pistons. So he just stayed away from the process and he let David Griffin handle it. Put one in the chat if y'all remember that. That's what kind of bullshit we had going on. How you taking players and not consorting with the coach you hired for the player that you take? It's just crazy. But that's what we was dealing with. I sit here and covered all of that, family. They can't tell me nothing about this team. I covered all of that crap. Lex says until our organization shows that they can develop players, it doesn't matter who you get. Indeed. That's what it's all about. Culture. Seventh, New Orleans says Zion's BSing around set the tone of the organization. He don't know how to do it, bro. That's what I was saying, man. Zion Williamson does best when people put foot to ass on Zion Williamson. That's what I was saying. Stan Van Gundy did that. The Duke coach Krzyzewski did that. Some of these players respond when you use a foot to ass method. That's what I was saying for the team. Instead of want hug on the players and that punk stuff that Borrego was talking about and all that just love on. I just want to love on the players, all that old soft ass stuff. You got to put foot to ass with these people when they blow 20-point leads and all this kind of stuff, and then they come back the next game and lose by 10. No, they no let go of the sport. They didn't let go of the rope, didn't let go of all that old stupid stuff. And they obviously did. Yeah, they did let go of the sword. Yeah, they let go of the rope. You got to chastise players, man. You got to chastise. Nothing wrong with chastising players when they blow 10, 15, and 20-point leads. If you don't chastise them, they basically stealing money. They're not going to learn. You got to draw it out of them. You can't let them sit there and say, I ain't going, what was it? I'm not going to call you out. I'm going to call you up. Man, shut up. That's what that big nose Willie Green said. Y'all remember that? Put one in the chat when I ain't going to call you out. I'm going to call you up. Well, I'm going to call you out and up to the fucking unemployment office. Because that's bull crap mentality. Man, get out of here, man. Who the hell you think you is, Tony Dungy? I ain't going to call you out. I'm going to call you up. Man, shut up, man. The team failing and missing the playoffs. Yeah, I ain't gonna call you out. I'm gonna call you. Get out of here, man. Get out of here with that bullshit, man. This is not the psychology or the therapist's office. This is a basketball team. You got to put foot to ass on these players, man. That's what you do. What's wrong with these people, man? I'm so happy these people are gone, fam. I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta hit the clap button on it, man. I'm so happy. I'm so tired of these dogs, man. I'm so happy they're gone, man. I am so happy these people are gone. Y'all don't believe it. I am so happy. They are gone, gone, gone. DJ says so we keeping yeah, he's still on the team, DJ. He a two-way player, man, on the back of the team. He'll be playing for the G League squadron, brother. You can go watch him in Kenner. He'll be playing at the Punch Train Center. I doubt Hunter Dickinson will have any meaningful minutes taking on Wembyama and Zach Edey, my brother. I doubt any of that, man. He's not there yet. All right. Yeah, 7 in New Orleans says all we can get in the trade for Zion right now is a 3-piece white cold drink, small, not a large fry, but a small fry. All right, shout out to you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, that sounds pretty good right now. That's actually sound pretty good. All right, Lex says Zion goes somewhere else. He's going to do better because they're going to press him. Yet with another organization, the Pels fans will be livid. Yeah, because the other organization will challenge him to shoot mid-range shots and not sit up here and just collect $40 million and pass go. You got to challenge, like I said, foot to ass. That's how you do it. We'll be turning to being the people that won't put no foot to ass. I don't understand that part of it. Teams are going to undercut Pels because they know the Pels don't know what they're doing. That's what I've been saying. Okay, thank you, Lex. I see Slim says Celtics got to steal. Yep, they did. Yeah, people remember that. 17 says, nah, I didn't know. I never had good. Yeah, yep, that's what happened, bro. That's what happened with Stan Van Gundy that year. They drafted Kyra Lewis Jr. without Stan Van Gundy's knowledge. Stan Van Gundy didn't want to have nothing to do with the drafting of any player. So that man went and selected that man, and that was one of the worst first-round picks the Pelicans ever had. The guy was out of the league, in 4 years? I mean, he was out of the league in 4 years. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. The guy was super fast, but he was like scared to press on his speed. It was real weird. You had to really threaten him to go. You had to threaten him to take it to the paint. I mean, he was so fast he can get wherever he want, but you had to threaten him. You better get your ass down there. It's crazy. All right, Minnesota on the clock. They take Joshua Jefferson from Iowa State, the forward. The final two picks of the first round is Cleveland's 29th pick and Dallas's 30th pick. So as it stands right now, the Pelicans with two picks left, it appears the Pelicans will not be doing a damn thing right now. So two picks remaining in tonight's day one of the draft. They've been stealing bread and ticking off, triggering it off at she's. All right. Val says it's funny to see New York, Toronto, OKC, and Golden State were at the bottom at one point in time, and now all of them have rings. Say it out loud, Val. Say it out loud, Val. Out loud. Wow. Pelican Nola says Joe Dumars making a run to Taco Bell because it's Taco Tuesday. Yep, he forgot about the NBA draft. All right. What about Troy Weaver? What is he doing? Mr. Hennessy, what's up? Rob says Kyra playing for the Kentwood Alligators right now. Yeah. So when the trade deadline, February of 20 to early, what was it? The first week of the first, what is it? The first or second week of February of 2027. Yeah, so it's quite a ways away. New York would have championships if it wasn't for MJ. Yeah. MJ took a lot of people championships away, bro. They forget MJ had six. He went 6 times and won all six of them. You know, he went 6 for 6, and he took 2 of them from Karl Malone and Stockton. He beat Utah twice. He beat Charles Barkley once. So he took championships from some of the best that ever did it. He took them from Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trail Blazers. He took 2 from Karl Malone and Stockton. He took 1 from Barkley. He took 1 from the glove. Didn't Jordan them beat Sean Kemp and Gary Payton? One of them. What was the other one? I'm thinking about. It was another one that I'm missing on. I know he took 1 for Portland. He's from the Lakers. He took 1 from Magic, because Magic got the in his later years. Magic got the Lakers there, and he took 1 from Magic. Yep, he took the last one from Magic. He took 2 from Stockton and Malone. He took 1 from Barkley. He took 1 from Clyde Drexler. That's it. Yeah, he was. Magic Johnson was. Michael Jordan was a fool. He was awesome, man. Yeah, there you go. Lex said, was it equivalent to Solomon Hill? Yeah, that was another horrible move. That was Dale Demps doing that. Dale Demps signed Solomon Hill from the Colts. From the Pacers. Solomon Hill came from the Indiana Pacers. He was a disaster. But probably the worst. If you ask me what was the worst signing that they did in recent memory, it was the Amir Osik signing. Remember the Pelicans signed Amir Osik? You remember that? They traded for Amir. They traded to get Amir Osik from the Chicago Bulls. He was balling up there, came to the Pelicans, stole money. He was so bad that the Pelicans sent draft picks out to get Amir Osik, and then had to send first round picks to go get him, and had to send first round picks to Houston to trade him to get him on up out of here. They had to put first round pick on Amir Osik, trade him to Houston to get him out of here. So they gave up multiple first round picks to acquire him, and eventually, when he failed, to ship him on out of here. So Dale Demps paid Amir Osik. When I was yelling, "Don't pay him," he paid him, but didn't want to pay Boogie Cousins because he said Boogie had that injury, and he disrespected Boogie Cousins by giving him a really bad offer. And Cousins will talk to you about that. He really despises Dale Demps. So does Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson blames Dale Demps for, why that's why Magic Johnson left the Lakers and Rob Pelinka took over the job with the Lakers, was because of Dale Demps. Dale Demps leaked the trade that destroyed his team, because he had all these none of these players knew that Magic Johnson had them, in a proposed trade. And Magic got on First Take and told the world that Dale Demps leaked the trade for whatever reason. And they asked him why he did. He said, I don't know why he did that, but he leaked the trade to the press, and that right there destroyed the team because a lot of the players the Magic had on that Lakers squad, because the first trade that happened with the Lakers and the Pelicans that David Griffin grifted off of was done by Magic Johnson to Dale Demps. And all David Griffin did was go and try to revive that trade. And I think that trade that Magic was giving Kyle Kuzma and all of those players to him, and Dale Demps, for whatever reason, turned the trade down and leaked the trade. And that was horrible. That caused a lot of the players to not trust Magic, and ultimately led from him not being at that position anymore. And then later on, Rob Pelinka came in. So yeah, that's a little inside baseball on some of that stuff. Magic Johnson talked about that on the interview. He talked about that shit on the interview. All right. Big Sean, what's up, brother? Says, man, every last player I had on my wish list went to other teams. Y'all got a good player, bro. Y'all did good, man. You've been radically absent, bro, but y'all did real good. Y'all got your boy from what's his name, Jaden. You got that forward, dog. Y'all gonna like him, man. That's a part of the game that y'all missing on. Y'all needed that kind of player, man. That 6'10", 250-something pounder. That's a brute in the paint. That sort of thing, man. Having that type of play, y'all, yeah, that's one y'all really need, man. Shout out to my boy Sean. His people doing good, man. I always got to give love. Sean says, "Do you think they're tanking Pelicans to get?" I don't think so, my brother. I think the tanking stuff is over with as so far as the Pelicans are concerned, because they're in a, I ain't gonna say win now. The window is the win now, right now. That's the reality. Zion is what is in his 8th year. Trey's in his what 7th year. I mean, you got players making $30 million, Zion making $40 million. It's time for them to show and prove. I think that's what the Pelicans are. And they got all the talent in the world. They got really nice players here. You know, they got some good players here. It's just getting them to play together, putting the system into place and getting the length that we need. Maybe adding some shooting. I don't know. We're not getting nothing out the draft tonight. Alex Caravan, the 6'6" forward from UConn, 2-time champion, he got picked up by Cleveland. So this Cleveland got a sharpshooter. They got him now, and you got one more. Well, actually, 2 more picks remaining. Actually, 1 pick I think left in the remaining, and that's Dallas. I mean, Dallas is the last pick in the draft. I won't say, fam, for tonight. Yeah, that actually, yeah, Dallas is the last pick right here. This is the last pick of the night, and then tomorrow, I think Cleveland picks it up tomorrow. Yeah, but this is the last pick of the night right here. So we know Pelicans ain't all the people they were interested is gone. All right, Mr. says Q. The matching of Suns offer sheet for Eric. Oh my God, I forgot about the Eric Gordon was far worse than the Osik shit. Mr. Glass asked us not to match it. We did it. I remember that, man. I forgot all about that. That's why I said Dale Demps was a effing idiot. And that guy is actually back in the gym. He must be one of these dudes like you be hearing about in these corporate settings that do anything and everything to stay in the room. Y'all get what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. It make no sense for him to be where he is right now with all of the stupid decisions that he made. Even the late great David Stern said that he was the worst general manager in the league. Y'all remember that? Stern said that about him. It's that dude do any and that dude like one of these casting couch people or something. This dude do any and everything to stay in the room. That make no sense for him to even be where he is right now. He one of the dumbest people you ever meet with him, what he did over time. But he got a VP job or something with the Minnesota Timberwolves. How? How, Sway? That boy do any and everything in that room with a nasty ass. Let me see. Sean says all of the bigs available at pick number 20. We take injury prone. That dude can ball, bro. That dude can ball. Y'all gonna be happy with him. 17 says I have bought about. I thought about it too. I don't think the NBA wants that to happen. Also, yeah, he says Tillman been trying to buy the Pels and already bought Harris. I don't think they'll sell it to him, bro. If any selling of franchises happen, I think the Raising Cane dude is sitting in the wings. I think he one of them people that's sitting in the wings for the Saints. Gail owns the team, but she don't have any heirs. I think he might be a guy waiting in the wings. And the reason why he ain't bought no team and he's super rich, he's the richest man in the state. He waiting in the wings, I think. Oh yeah, Val said Hilton Armstrong. Yeah, that's one of the that was the year we had 3 first round draft picks. I won't say Val. Hilton Armstrong from the University of UConn. The dude was a bum. How about what's the boy name? Wright from Kansas. Y'all remember was it Kansas or Kansas State? Your boy Wright, the small forward we picked up. What was his name? Jeffrey Wright or Jeremy Wright? Jesse Wright, whatever his name was. Boy, we had some stinkers, man. TFP says, I have no idea how the NBA draft works, but it seems messed up. Bad teams don't get a top pick. Really strange. Yeah, and we just got our last pick of the first round. It's Koa Pete from, I wonder if this is your boy, brother. Andrus's brother. I'm gonna have to look it up and see if this is Andrus Pete brother, but I don't know. I don't think so. Koa Pete from Arizona is the last pick of the first round, so that'll do it for the first round, fam. And tomorrow the second round start off, I think, with the Knicks on the clock. So Pelicans ain't got nothing. All that smoke and mirrors about them trading into the first round, and they look at that Kyrie, look at that guy, and none of that. Not even close. Oh my goodness. Sliff says Stern called Dempsey an idiot. That's right, y'all. I'm just telling you what it is. Lex says, you see what the T-Wolves did? Yes, I seen it. They traded him because he's salty that the Knicks won that trade. Yeah, I see he went to the Brooklyn Nets, I want to say, right? The car says, Q, remember the Cedric Simmons? And yeah, I remember. Yeah. What was the guy that they picked up from Kansas State? The Jayhawk, Jeff Wright or whatever his name was? Cedric, yeah, Simmons was garbage, dog. Julian Wright, there you go, Dakari. See all these horrible players? Julian Wright, oh my God. Boy, we've been floundering and flipping for years, y'all. We have. I forgot about Eric Gordon. We paid a dude that, yeah, Eric Gordon. See, on a night like this, the Pelicans supposed to be giving us something to talk about. We sit up here talking about all the crap. Yeah, he said one of the best moves Pels made was Trevor. Yeah, Trevor Ariza. Yeah. Oh, Jay, that's right, Jay. That is his brother. Oh, okay. See, I was thinking, I was like, man, he kind of looked like Andrews. I just didn't want to make the parallel. But thank you for that, bro. All right, Mr. Hennessy says he is on. He says soap still to this day. If you see Gordon on the, yeah, he's still mad at him. 17 says Demps was as bad as GMS. He was awful, man. That's why I said that boy do any and everything to stay in the room. And y'all know what I mean, man. Y'all know what I mean. It make no sense for him to have that type of job because he all he did was mess up. So how he back up there like that? Val says, oh yeah, Julian Wright, I think, was Kansas State. Yeah, he was awful. Ariza was Trevor Ariza was awesome. He went up. Kobe Bryant loved Trevor Ariza too. He went out there to LA and I think they won a championship out there. But Trevor Ariza was a solid player, man, for us. Great player. Sean says Randall got traded because he stunk against us in the playoffs. So what you think? He says, Madam. So what do you think they're gonna do with number 58? Probably go for a big, bro. The Pelicans we know that they could use some shooting, but I'm saying I think length is the main thing they're gonna go after, and perhaps the Pelicans make a move to trade up into there could be a possibility that they didn't do nothing in the first round. There could be a possibility they can try to maybe package some second round picks and try to move up into a higher position in the second round. Maybe something higher up to the top of the second, near the top of the second round, see if they can get a player there. But let me take a look at some of the players that's still available for the Pelicans. But you talking 58, man, that's way down there, man. So I mean, I don't know. Um, but they still got quite a few players that's still left, man. To be honest with you, if you're the Pelicans, I mean, you got Henry Vsar from North Carolina. He's a big, 7 foot big. That's still available. I don't know if he's still going to be available by the time they pick. We talked about Baba Miller, who's 6'11", from Cincinnati. He's still available. Like I said, I don't know how far these guys are going to be available, but we'll see what they got going on when the pick come. But Pelicans were quiet today. Do they do the same thing and just sit on their hands for the second round? Or do they try to package, maybe some second round picks if they can move up a little higher in that round to chase somebody? I don't know if there's somebody that's in that round that's even worthy of that, to be honest with you. But we talked about what's the big guy from Virginia? Oyenso. Yeah, Oyenso, the 7 footer from rim protector from Virginia. He's another 7 footer guy there that they could look at. Nate Biddle, another 7 foot guy from Oregon. Who else they got? Yuta, Ernest Yuta from Miami, 6'11" guy. So they got some other talent they can look at, but depending on where it falls at, Felix Power is another guy, 6'11", 242. That's a big guy. Isaiah Nelson from USF. He's 6'10" guy. This is guys that they could possibly be looking at. But at some point when you get that late, then you kind of I guess picking the best player available type of approach if you the Pelicans. But I don't know. Malik Brown's another dude. I think they were linked to Malik Brown. I think some of these players they actually went and checked out. I think Brown was one of the guys that they checked out. So we'll see what it looked like on the other side, man. To be honest with you, man, it's very interesting though. All right, wakefulness. Yeah, yeah. So just to recap, fam. Tonight the Pelicans made no moves. There were absolutely no moves today. No trades by the Pelicans. Nothing by the Pelicans. They were silent today. Nothing happened. There were many trades that occurred in the draft. It just didn't have nothing to do with us. So in the first day of the draft, you're trying to see which way the Pelicans are headed. And there's at least for tonight, ain't nothing much to talk about. Pelicans made no news, made no trades. We just sat here and watched many of our adversaries get better. And maybe before I leave, maybe let me show you some of the teams that that we're going against in our conference. Some of the moves they made to get better. This is some of the moves. This is the draft for the Dallas Mavericks. They picked up Johnson Jr., the big from the Michigan Wolverines at the 9th spot for them, 6'9", 250. They brought him in. And then, of course, the other pickup was Cole Pete. We just watched that happen for them. So they picking up and getting some physical guys right there, long guys. They bring a physical edge to their squad. So that's what the Dallas Mavericks did. The Houston Rockets today didn't have any picks. So, we'll see what they do tomorrow. The Memphis Grizzlies, who's also a part of the Southwest, they had a pretty interesting draft. They got Cameron Boozer, that's Carlos Boozer's son from Michigan. From Duke. They got him with the 3rd overall pick. He replaces Jaren Jackson Jr. And plugs right into the lineup. And then later on, with the 16th overall pick, this team picked up Bennett Sturts. And I think they traded Bennett Sturts to OKC. And I forgot what they got in return. I have to check on that to see. But they got something back in return for this guard that they sent to OKC. And let me see. OKC, let me see. Yeah, I think this is the guy they traded for. Yeah, there you go. Corey, 6'2", 185 guard from Stanford. Is who they with Minnesota's going to get in return for the guard that they sent out. And then let me see what my other squads that we sing. Let's see, let me make sure I get everybody from San Antonio. My boy Sean squad. They got Jaden right here. Quantance 6'10", 250 bruiser. This type of guy they really need. And then tomorrow you can see they got 3 second-round picks. So Sean and them squad gonna try to put in some work for tomorrow. Do their thing. And like I said, outside of that, really the Pelicans didn't do anything. They got the pick tomorrow, 28th pick in the second round that they got from Detroit via New York, via Brooklyn, via Phoenix, via Orlando. Everybody had put their hands on that damn pick. But they got one pick tomorrow. And that's pretty much what it is and how it is. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put the Rockets up here, right? Oh, yeah, the Rockets don't pick it tomorrow. So that's pretty much what it is and how it is tonight, fam. And very quiet night. This is probably one of the most non-eventful nights that I've ever had in terms of covering the Pelicans on draft night. Draft night is usually one of my favorite nights to cover Pelican content. Been doing this for a long time. But tonight was kind of odd because the Pelicans really had no warrant or motivation or anything to step up and change anything. All right. So Tristan says all-star team with a lottery record. Okay. All right. Yeah, Lex says he must have been high on the drugs. All right. And Rob says Boozer a twin, but his brother looks 6'1". I know the homie feel play. Yeah. Yeah, he said you seen Gilbert Arenas. What he said, he says you seen Gilbert Arenas said he was better than AI. No, Gilbert Arenas is like the basketball version of Kanye West. I don't really take anything serious. He says he's literally basketball Kanye. That's his whole little shtick. Think about it. All right. Anyway, because it's absolutely nothing. Say it again. All right, so anyway, with that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Listen, I will return tomorrow for day number 2, round number 2. Perhaps the Pelicans make some moves, perhaps not. We know they got a draft pick in the back of the second round tomorrow on day number 2, man. We'll see what the Pelicans do. And hopefully it's something between now and then, get some type of indication of which direction the team is headed, and there's still a lot of time as we get ready to go into the rest of the season with the NBA draft upon us, and next week free agency starting. We'd love to see some moves to see what direction this team is headed in, man. The faithful is watching. We are watching. I said, with that being said, listen, man, thank you all of y'all for tuning in this coverage tonight of PPR. Do me a service, man, if you enjoy this stream. If you're not a subscriber, sub up, do me a service, hit that notification bell and hype the stream, hype us up. PPR in here, representing the flock and nation, Big Q. Much love to the fam as usual, man. Day 1, not much happening at all. Watching other teams get better. Hopefully the Pelicans will get busy tomorrow and make some moves, and we'll see. With that being said, fam, I appreciate y'all, man. I'm holla at y'all on tomorrow's stream. Much love, peace. Go Pel.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Yeah, ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and do best, show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly die, I'm a pelican forever. Pelican forever.
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelican scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with thewhodatdaily.com. Your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit thewhodatdaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.